What's up, Extra Butter listeners? On today's episode, we jump into a new theme for the next set of four, which is going to be the largest differences between audience and critic scores via Rotten Tomatoes. So, the way that we looked at it was anything higher than a 30% plus difference is going to make it onto the wheel that we're going to spin at the end of the episode to decide what we watch next. So, the man versus the people, the audience versus the critics. Hopefully, we get a good blend of both where the audience was higher than the critics and vice versa. But the first movie that we did dive into this week was Warcraft, a 2016 fantasy action movie with a 47% divide on Rotten Tomatoes in favor of the people. 76% of the audience score, 29% on the critics. Quite the squashed mater there. Also, we talk about Sinners, a movie currently in theaters. I got a chance to go out and watch the new movie Sinners, so I want to give you a snapshot preview of what to expect and how to get out and go see it. We've got a sports gambling story. Our episode 4 is Into the Ether, Gone Forever. Episode 3 into episode 5. We talk a little bit about how that happened. We welcome on a new producer, and hopefully that fixes the issue of episode 4, Finding the Ether. We've got a new theme song. We've got gears to grind as always, and a lot to unpack here. Make sure to check us out on Spotify, YouTube, and follow us over on Instagram, X, the Everything app. Everything happens on X. Find us on social medias, hoping to get our way to Apple Podcast soon as well. Roll the tape.
Extra butter on the corn for me. Extra butter. I hope they don't charge a fee. But it won't matter anyway. I got a good movie to play. I'm gonna ask my friends to stay extra butter for me.
This is episode 5. Yes, I said 5, not 4. We go from 3 to 5, and Geese, I'd love for you to tell them why.
Well, picture this. We get done recording How to Kill a Mockingbird, and in the typical process I grab the download from our recording device in Discord, and I download it to my desktop. Well, guess what? I didn't do that. And there's I think it's like 72 hours or something like that, where it holds the download for you. And when I think we were recording one of the Oscar episodes that we'll be releasing is, never downloaded it. So went to go check it out. Gone.
Shadow
forever. Great content in there. For the interweb or wherever that never gets deleted because it's hanging out at the trash dump.
What's the name of that satellite that they sent out that's still like 2 billion light years away already?
I don't know.
Anybody know?
That's a little bit above my pay grade to know the name of that.
Where they got like little snippets and sound bites or whatever. Yeah,
Sputnik. That's a word I know. I don't remember exactly what it was.
That ain't it.
Yeah, well, and that was going to round up the first set of 4, which was 4 random movies off the IMDb Top 100 list. So we did rank those. You'll never hear it. If you find it in the ether, you find it in the Shadow Realm, please let us know. We'd love to post it. But episode 4,
Bitcoin.
Yeah, episode 4 is never happening. It's gone. We're not going to just change the name to episode 4. This will be episode 5, but that one's gone. And then moving on, guys, I did want a quick highlight. I did go see Sinners. Incredible movie. I can't even tell you. It's got everything. It's based in the 30s in Mississippi. It's religiously motivated. It's racially motivated. It's got the horror aspect to it. It's got the gore to it. It's got love. It's got music. It's got everything. It even, not going to give anything away, but it wraps up good, starts great. Everything in between is incredible. Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, to name the top 2, leads in the movie. Michael B. Jordan is awesome. I don't know how much. I haven't seen it. I've seen a handful of stuff he's been in. But the first 20 minutes, you're looking at the 2 lead characters. I'm trying to decipher which one's Michael B. Jordan. They're both him. I didn't know that. I watched the preview once. I didn't look much into it. I wanted to be kind of surprised. He played both of them. It's an absolute lights-out performance. I think the most unique take on vampires in a movie I've ever seen without being, a true horror movie. So, got to get out and see it. I went to the 10:30 a.m. showing in the little kind of intimate theater. And there was actually like 7 or 8 other people in there to see Sinners at 10:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Now you went by yourself though, right?
I did, yeah, but there was not there was a couple solo folks in there, there was a group of 3. It's kind of unique. I think 2 couples and then 3 solo folks, just kind of, in myself included, scattered throughout. But sounds great. I sat E5, so I would imagine that's row 5, seat 5.
I always go G1 when it's the bigger theaters.
Bigger theater.
Yeah, the bigger theater, but I don't sit center. I sit right on the first 2 off of the walkway aisle, but farther back into the theater and everything. So,
what's your reasoning? Talk to me.
One, I don't have to get up and go around people. They have to go around me, which is, it is what it is at that point. But
how often do you get up in a movie, though?
I never do, really, unless it's wicked and it's 3 hours long. I go to the bathroom, I typically don't.
I say you start moving center.
It's a great question.
You buy people, right? Like, if it's a packed theater, like, I only have one person next to me, and then the other one's typically Lexi. So it's like, and she doesn't like sitting next to people either. So, that's another part of it.
I get it, but center's ideal.
I get the thought process behind of kind of not having to move around, but one, yeah, if you don't ever get up, it doesn't matter. And 2, deciding to be off center is just crazy. That's a crazy person move.
It's a big screen, man.
I know. I was E5 with 8 people, and I was the small theater, and I wasn't sitting next to anybody. I think if you pick your seat, yeah, if you're going to opening night, you're probably screwed. I understand the outside, and maybe that's all that's left, but I'd be shocked if I ever pulled up a movie where all the edges were gone and all you could find was middle seats. Like, that's just never gonna happen. Yeah. But no, Sinners was awesome. I wouldn't even call it a horror film. You got to be okay with gore. Michael B. Jordan is the fucking man. That's the best way to put it. Get out and go see it.
I love him.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But don't want to give anything away. Yeah, most unique take on vampires, like the most unique take on any vampire movie I've ever watched.
I'm curious now. I'm gonna have to. Lexi wants to go see that. I have to make the stop.
You've got the jump scares in there. You've got the gore, but like it's not a true horror film. There's aspects to it, but it's got a little bit of everything in it.
What's the runtime on that one, Brendan? Do you know?
It's like 2 hours and 17 minutes, I want to say.
Okay.
I think it's actually exactly that. I just acted like I didn't know, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Got it up in front of him.
Also, previews. Haven't been to a movie in a while. Excited to get going. I'm talking about getting signed up for the A-list on AMC. $20 a month.
I've been thinking about that too.
4 movies a week. I don't think I'll max that out, but if you go see 2, IMAX it's all included. You got to pay for your snacks and stuff. But looking to sign up for that. But previews coming out. I know we already talked about it last week or on one of the Oscars episodes. Weapons coming out with Julia Gardner, or what's her name?
I'm all in on that.
I think it's Julia Gardner. I can't remember.
Who cares?
She's usually great. She was in Ozark. That movie looks incredible. Now, I will say it did kind of focus primarily on horror films because it was fitting the genre, so you're trying to appeal. But the F1 movie with Brad Pitt looks great.
I'm pumped for that one.
There's I believe it's November, Predators Badlands coming back around.
Yeah, saw that one
that
too.
Looks sick. That's like Jurassic Park. Anytime you release an Alien or Predator movie, like, I'm going to go see it. I'm going to watch it. I don't care.
Even the old ones, like watching those type of genre movies from back in like the 80s or whatever, even if the CGI wasn't that great, it's still great movies.
I don't care.
Still great movies.
It's like Jurassic Park. Like, they're dinosaurs. You can't go see them in real life. So I'm gonna go watch them on the movie screen. I have to. I don't care if the movie sucks. But yeah, previews are sick. Take about 30 minutes. So expect to be there for about 3 hours, 2:45.
There's always 30 minutes of trailers.
I love them though. You got to make it for the trailers. I can't stand missing the trailers because it's just, I don't know, get you fired up a little bit. Now, granted, they get a little lengthy in terms of how many they show you, but no, pumped
it's like
up.
Commercials during the football game, man. They just keep adding to them.
Yeah. And I will also plant my flag right now. May 23rd, Lilo and Stitch is coming out.
I will
be going to see that soon. So
the CGI looks good in that, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm definitely an emotional guy. It feels like a movie where tears are gonna be showing up. So excited to go see that one too. But yeah, go see Sinners if you haven't seen it yet. Probably be in theaters for a little bit longer here, but incredible movie. 97% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and 96% audience score. I would love to talk to the people that caused that movie not to find the 100% mark, because I don't know why. But would love to talk to that. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to hear the reasons as to why, but 97 and 96 is pretty good. The exact opposite of kind of what we're gonna be diving into for over the next 4 episodes. But Geese, want to pass it back over to you. You talked about having a little bit of a sports gambling story.
Oh, where to begin? You win some, you lose some, you lose 6 months straight. That's where I'm at. I haven't won a UFC bet since like October of last year.
Oh, God.
And I bet almost every weekend. I've lowered my unit now to where I'm only losing like $30 because like I can't win. Can't win.
You want to start giving me your picks here so I can start fading you or what?
Dude, UFC 315 was last weekend. The kid put together an 8-pick parlay. I'm 7 for 7. Championship fight. I bet on Bilal Muhammad.
Oh.
I thought Bully B was going to get it done, man. And he almost did. I thought it was either probably 4-0 Mandela or
Mandela.
Like 3-1. Jack Della Mandela?
Jack
I can't
Della
say his
Maddalena,
name.
I believe is how you say it.
Maddalena, yeah.
Mandela.
Jack Mandela.
We're cool like that.
Oh, hell yellow.
You hit him with the Mandela effect.
Oh, hell yellow.
So it was probably, 4-0, 3-1. And it went to decision. And you hear the decision, it was 2-2 going into the 5th. And Bilal lost the 5th round. That close to about $840 payout. Plus the 4-pick parlay I made with all the same people on it, with Bilal included.
Oh, no.
Lost that one too. About $1,200 total down the drain at the end of the 5th round, man. Just soul crushing.
Those are the toughest because I know we've made them in the past together quite a bit, and when you make the long ones and then you pick from that 8, these are the 4 that are for sure gonna win. That's what you think, and then you put a little bit more coin on it, and then it only takes that one to lose, and then you lose them all. Everything's gone. So I feel you. I've been there.
Yeah. Last fight too, championship fight, 5th round, as close as you can get to not hitting a bet.
And you're just, you can't be rooting for somebody more, even if you like him or don't like him.
Oh, yeah. My personal opinions of Bilal that night did not matter. I'm in his corner. I'm behind the cage, man. Cheering him on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm jumping up and down. Man, there are so many fights on this card where it was like weird-ass decision. Like, how did he win that? Or first-round KO. Like, honestly, on paper, it didn't look that great of a card. Excellent UFC content, man. Every single fight, maybe except 1 or 2 of them, were bangers. And Bilal just went to absolute war in that fight, man.
It was a good fight.
Oh, just terrible.
I didn't see a second of that card. I was out at a wedding. Shout out the Durs, Coda, Marissa, love them. I don't think I had a ton of reception because I had a MLB parlay going that the last leg was the Padres versus the Rockies. And when I checked, it was 6-0 Padres. Felt good. Couldn't get internet back. Checked back a little bit later. It was 20-0 Padres in baseball. Usually feel all right about that when they're probably going to win by 2. But, fast forward to today, or I guess this weekend, a buddy of mine and I are known to throw some nukes around from time to time.
I think I heard this conversation.
It's rivalry weekend in the MLB. Feeling pretty good. I had a good MLB week last week, which is stupid to be betting baseball in May anyway. It's just such a long season. You can't predict it. Friday night, in the group chat, it's Dodgers -1.5. They're at home. They're coming off back-to-back 10-plus run wins against the A's. The Angels are coming to town. Angels not that good of a ball club. Trout's hurt. Now, granted, he hasn't been good either. But the Dodgers got Dustin May on the bump. No brainer. Let's throw a nuke on the Dodgers. The Dodgers lose 6-2, right? That one hurt. You go to Saturday, my buddy is just he's retired. He's done. Put him out. We bet on the Fever. I bet the spread. They won. He bet Caitlin Clark's points. That didn't hit. He was done. He was a dead person, dead body. And I said, hey, there's no way the Dodgers lose again tonight. There's no way the Dodgers go down again. He's like, no, I can't do it. I'm like, okay, I'm telling you. And he's like, you know what? I'm in. And we throw another missile at it. The Angels beat the Dodgers last night 10-9. Clayton Kershaw goes out, I think for the first time since maybe 2001. God forbid how long he's been in the league. Just is horrible. Bullpen hasn't been good. Walking the ballpark. Angels hitting homers. Dodgers can't play defense. They can't score. 10-9. They played again today. I'm out. They lost again. They got swept. So couldn't have been more wrong on that one. But gosh, when you get hit with bad beats, there's nothing worse.
Oh.
Especially when
Oh. Because the only way to get it back is to just
play
bet again. You know,
Yeah,
like let's
you gotta get back on the saddle.
rally the troops. Let's win it all back today. Why not us?
I could win all my bets the rest of the year. I wouldn't know that unless I do it. So
Gamble responsibly. Only bet with the money that you can lose. Sometimes
no
we
ads
do.
yet, so
Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. This is just coming from the heart.
Right.
But no, yeah, I totally hear you. I wish I could have saw that card. I haven't watched UFC card in a couple weeks. Kind of slacking a little bit. I'll get back on it.
Much. Last weekend was all right, but again, I had another parlay. I lost last weekend. There you go. Keep losing. Second fight, lost. Busted my parlay, so I stopped watching after that.
Last night?
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that. It started early, but yeah, bad beats.
I stopped watching it.
Bad beats, not good. Fuck the Dodgers. Fuck Bilal Muhammad, I think is the moral of the story of the last, week or so of our betting careers. So
Bully B got bullied.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I think, before kind of introducing our producer here and just letting everybody know that we've got one, I guess we can just jump into it now. Getting a producer, guys, we're flipping up our mojo on kind of how we're recording, trying to just continue to step up our game and just get elevated, right? We've been on, some different platforms. We're new to it. You'll probably notice that and realize it through listening. Bringing on a producer to kind of help us out when able to, and being able to kind of lead us in the right direction. Brought us brought us to a new platform today. Good podcasting there. And really excited to have him on board. So hopefully as time goes on here, get him a little bit more involved, but helping us out a lot on the back end. So really appreciate that and continue to upgrade here on our end. But as always, I don't know about you boys, but I do have at least one gear to grind.
Grind it up.
Self-checkout systems do not make any sense. And I've got a couple reasons as to why. Nothing too big, but just minor inconveniences, right? How many times you go to self-checkout and you got to put the shit immediately into the bagging space? You have to. Or the whole system's going to lock you out. They got to have somebody come over. God knows when that's going to happen, depending on where you are.
Oh.
But it happens like 3 times. Like, did I just put it in there? I've gone from even shooting the gun to my cans of, sparkling water or milk on the bottom, and then still picking them up and putting them over there because I just cannot stand the delay it takes just for somebody to come plug in a 4-digit number, click back, and then leave. Like, they didn't even check to see if you're stealing anything. God bless their souls, but, that pisses me off. But the one that doesn't make any sense is you can only, and I'm sure there's more than one, Target and Walmart, you can't self-checkout with booze. You could be going in to get a 12-pack of beer. That's it. And you got to stand behind a family of 5. You got to stand behind, maybe a cashier that's just not on their game that day, not trying to be there, and you're waiting for 85 items to get checked out just to get your one through. At Kroger brand grocery stores out here in Colorado, King Supers back in Milwaukee, Pick and Save, Kroger, there's a lot of them. You can self-check out with booze because guess what? There's somebody already there anyway. All they do is come plug in their number again and actually do something. Check your ID, plug the date in, you're good to go. Why?
It's that simple.
Why are there people at the self-check? I think Walmart's had issues with the whole new system of nobody being there, which is crazy anyway. Like when I go to the two closest grocery stores to me are King Supers and Target, and I can't self checkout in Target, and there are people standing there that are working the self checkout. I guess the only thing that would make sense is that they hire underage kids to, like, 16 or 18 to 20-year-olds that can't legally check you out. But it just seems such a simple process to just be able to self check. If I can do it at this grocery store, why the fuck can't I do it at this one? That drove me nuts. I ran into it this weekend. I forget about it all the time, that I have to go wait in a long line just to get maybe it's one tall boy of Coors Light. You got to stay in the line and find somebody who looks like they're over 21, or else you get to the front and they got to call somebody over too. So self-checkouts suck. The whole system's ass. I love using them, but none of them are good. I think Whole Foods is probably the best one on the market. But I use them all the time, and they just piss me off.
I can't stand them.
I don't know, Geese. I gotta go. We just went to Aldi today, and I think we had a decent amount of items. Same thing. You're doing the back and forth in the thing. It's in the back. You got to put it back into your box, and you got to check out all your shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
moving it back in there, and then you got to look back, and you're the one typing in the codes for all the veggies and the fruits and all that stuff. Why can't you hire one more person to do it? Although I do like Aldi. I do like how their self-checkout thing is.
Because they upped the minimum wage on all that. So now they don't hire that many people now, and then it's all self-checkout. Like you increase all your grocery prices, and then I have to check myself out.
Yeah.
And then when I do check myself out, it doesn't register. I pull my hand across, and now it's locked out. To Brendan's point, I almost left an entire grocery cart right there in the aisleway because it locked me out 3 times. I almost left. I almost lost my shit. Yeah, I don't need groceries today. I'm out of here. I can't stand faulty checkouts. Can't stand them.
I want to make it abundantly clear to you guys. I am a self-checkout guy. I am through and through a self-checkout guy. It's the inconvenience of the little things you can't do at the self-checkout that drive me nuts. Because to me, I don't want to wait in line. There's usually more self-checkouts than there are people working, which makes sense. They're not hard. They don't work that great, but the small inconveniences of, like, how easy it could be to just change that, that's what pisses me off.
How many items are you usually rocking with, though? How many
It
items
could be a full cart. You got to bring your own bags out here anyway. The hell am I going to go to the...
I think that's the main problem.
You have to bring your own bags anyway.
Bagging is the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
I think, of the main problem. If I didn't have to bag, I'll self-check out all day long.
Oh, we have to bag our own. So, like, I don't know. Like, and if we go to Target, Target clothes are my favorite, but maybe my bone to pick is with Target as an organization. Love Target brand. Love going to Target. But if I go to Target and I go to a human being, I'm usually bagging my own stuff too, because you bring your own bags out here. Unless you get a bag from Target, they're not. It's kind of an unwritten rule to, like, touch your own. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Get it, but I don't know. But
I never bring my own bags. I always get the paper or whatnot. I hate doing it.
10 cents
I understand
a pop.
why to do it.
Adds up.
I'll pay it.
14 cents here.
I hate
14
carrying
cents
the
a
bags
bag?
in.
Yep.
What
Paper
has that
bag.
gone
Can't stand
nationwide?
I don't know.
Or is
Probably
it's
with
probably
is it paper over there. Trev?
No, we can. If you go to, like, a normal grocery store, you can do plastic.
and it's free.
Oh, see.
Yeah, we'll
We
throw
don't
it right in
have
the ground.
There's no
Colorado
plastic.
anymore.
Throw it right in the ground.
There's no plastic bags here anymore, so you
When
have
we
to.
work out in New York, it's the same way. So I'm getting kind of used to that. But yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Again, self checkout through and through. I'm not waiting in line unless I absolutely have to. I'm a big self checkout guy. We don't need them to be perfect quite yet. We just need them to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
I've been going to Trader Joe's lately, man, and they don't have self checkout, and you're out of there like you would be.
I love
Yeah.
Trader Joe's. Got a counterpoint to you. Trader Joe's is great. Always busy. One problem, especially if you go on the weekends. If you don't, you can find some time to get over there. But Trader Joe's typically pretty busy. Last time I went, that guy behind the counter didn't care about it. He's just throwing my shit down the thing. And I get it. Everybody has an off day, right? That guy could be an incredible human being. He had an off day. He was not interested. He was just hucking that thing. I walked up, hey, how you doing?
Throwing
What?
your can of beans on your bag of chips.
Scanning stuff. Didn't
Wipe it down.
zero
Wipe-
response. It's like, hey, man, okay, well, it's not my fault, but guy had an off day. But Trader Joe's is usually a zoo. Love it. Great prices. Self checkouts, man, you gotta have them. You gotta have them, but they stink. They stink.
They suck.
We'll have to talk
Especially King Supers, man. Those are the worst ones out there.
Let's
I
toss a
know,
little
but they're
poll
also
up.
the best. They're the best because you can do whatever you want.
Hey,
like,
Brendan,
you-
let's toss a little poll up on self checkout.
Yeah, we're gonna have to-
what the people are feeling.
Well, I honestly want to know. Yeah, one, what they're thinking. Two, what is the am I missing something? Like, is there a better self checkout system than
Yeah, what's the cheat
Kroger?
code?
Because Kroger's got the best one, and it still has its issues, which I think they all do. But like, you if somebody's working there, check my ID. I'm almost 30. I'm not hiding it. Let me get my 12-pack of beer in the
Yeah.
self checkout lane.
And if it was a perfect society, you should be able to scan the barcode on your ID. You know what I mean? But that's not the world we live in.
No, it's honor system. There's going to be problems.
Yeah.
We can't. I don't think that we would ever get there. Unless it's
That's
like
a good
face,
point, though.
face
There's a
recognition.
barcode for a reason.
We'll get there
There's
because
a barcode.
face recognition too. I think they could probably end up getting there with self checkout's gonna at some point in our lives gonna be incredible. Like it's gonna be. There will be no cashiers. There'll be people working in the stores and stuff, but they'll have the barcode. They'll have the
You know,
facial
people are gonna
recognition.
tell us, just order your groceries online.
Alexa's been
delivered.
doing that the last 2
More
weekends,
expensive.
dude.
It is.
Did
It is.
did you get them delivered, or do you pick them up?
Deliver.
Yeah,
Pickup is-
I'd pick them up.
is-
I don't think it
is
costs you any
elite.
more
We
money.
didn't
No.
want to leave the house today.
It costs more money to have them delivered. Obviously, I think if you pick them up, it's the
Yep.
station price.
And guess what? They have a worker do that.
Yeah.
Why can't
Yeah.
the worker just run a line?
Why can't the worker just drive them over? You know.
I'm right down the road.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Self checkouts. We talked a decent amount more about it than I thought. Skip bagging option at Supers took me 100 times to figure that out to where it wouldn't scream at me for removing shit from the bag area. It'll lock it all out. You completely are locked out, and they don't do anything. They don't check to see if you're stealing. I've never had somebody go through my receipt. Shout out Costco. Love Costco. They'll check your shit, and they'll check your
I don't
receipt.
even think they actually look at that receipt.
Some of them do, some of them don't. I prefer the ones that don't because I'm not stealing anything.
Yeah.
But
You have to go through the whole checkout process.
no, if you
There's no
if
way
you
you're getting
t-
out of there
if
without
you
it.
touch something on the bagging area at King Supers, it's like it's like set the tornado sirens off because you better get the flashing red light. Someone's got to come over there. Let's keep improving self checkouts. You guys keep doing your
Moral
cashier
of the story.
shit. Let's just shout out big self checkout out there. Big self checkout. We got some work to do. But anyway, guys, excited to jump into the new set of 4. I think this topic is awesome. Shout out myself for coming up with it. But we've done IMDb Top 100. We've got some Oscars movies we talked about from 2024 that will come out periodically. But this one being just the biggest discrepancy between critics and audience scores based on Rotten Tomatoes, whether it's a high audience, low critic, or vice versa. Super interesting topic, and I'll be honest with you. I know we jumped into before I get into it. We did jump into Warcraft first, a 2016 film, fantasy action, 47% difference on Rotten Tomatoes. I had never seen it. Trav has never seen it. Geese, I believe, had seen it at least once,
Yeah, I saw it once, way back.
and it was. Trav, tell him about it. Let's get a snapshot of the movie here.
We had talked about this before recording, and I was wondering if Geese is more of a Warcraft guy than me. See if he could do the intro. No, he's not a World of Warcraft guy. So I just pulled this sucker right off of Google. Bear with me. Looking to escape from his dying world, the orc shaman Gul'dan utilizes dark magic to open a portal to the human realm of Azeroth. Supported by the fierce fighter Blackhand, Gul'dan organizes the orc clans into a conquering army called the Horde. Uniting to protect Azeroth from these hulking invaders are King Lane, the mighty warrior, Anduin Lothar, and the powerful wizard Medivh. As the two races collide, leaders from each side start to question if war is the only answer. Geese, what'd you think?
I always like these movies, man. It's just my preference for fantasy, you got your knights, your dwarfs, your orcs, what have you. So it's really in my wheelhouse for genres or topics. I thought it was a little campy, for being, I think it's like 9 years old now. Or is it more than that? Was it 2011 you said?
2016. Can you please talk about the word campy there for me?
Campy?
Yeah, I was waiting to hear that.
No idea. No idea what that means.
Campy is like it just kind of plays into the, I'll say, like, stereotypes. I could be completely off on that definition, but like the armor is like bulky and doesn't look like metal, where it's like it leans into the theme of like what it's talking about. So like Warcraft is like big bulky armor, like big swords, so it's like it kind of leaned into that where it's not going for like super realistic,
right?
So campy as in, it's leaning into it being a depiction of the game itself.
I thought it was sick.
There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Campy movie is one that is absurdly exaggerated, artificial, or affected often in a humorous way. So I was kind of close.
Well, I think it was.
I don't think humorous is.
No, I think
everything.
If you just eliminate the back end of that, I think perfect.
Yeah.
Exaggerated. Yeah. I mean, what is it? It's based off a computer game. So, obviously, that's what I wanted. I've got a pretty interesting take on this movie. I thought it was I don't know, maybe not, we'll learn throughout the next three movies, but could not have been more spot on with I couldn't have agreed more with the scores. Could not have. I saw it exactly the same. I understood it. It made sense. As a dude who plays video games, with you geese, I'm into this type of thing. Played RuneScape, didn't play a ton of Warcraft, play a lot of Xbox. I think the best way to describe the movie and like initial thoughts was sick. The movie is sick. Like the movie was sick. Like that's the 76% from the audience is just that movie was sick. From the flip side, not a whole lot of depth there. Not a whole lot of depth. I get why the big dogs of movie, big movie would say it's not that great. I see that too. Sick movie though. I was in. We can get into it, but that was my first thought. It was exactly how it was portrayed to be from the two scores.
I'm not much of a fantasy guy, not much of a, those type of Xbox games or video games at all. I side more with the critics. I'm going to tell you, the movie sucked.
Oh, dude.
The movie sucked. I appreciated the battle scenes, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, those are kind of cool with how they acted it out. But the in-between, that was god-awful.
Dude.
That was so bad. I found myself, I was watching on the couch. You know how when you're laying there watching something, when you're, like, locked in, you don't move. I was kind of like, kind of writhing in the couch, put a little pillow on, just kind of like on the in-between, kind of falling asleep, and then, action scene, all right, what do we got here? What are they slicing and dicing now?
I totally agree with that too. I think I checked the time of the movie way more than any other one, just to see, like, where are we? Because it's so fast. I mean, we're here, we're there, we're every freaking where. Now, but I just couldn't follow it. It was fast, bang, bang. Yeah. Scene. We're 25 minutes in. I felt like it's been 3 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, no. I feel like if you are a fan of World of Warcraft and had played the game, the plot is pulled from the video game. So they cut out a lot of all that other crap of the story that you get if you were playing it. So if I was a fan and saw that movie, a lot of stuff would make a lot more sense.
Sure, that's probably why that score was higher.
Well, here's my thought, and this is what I thought watching the movie, just high overview. That could have been a 5-season, 6-season TV show. Like, that game still is creating DLCs and new content today. I don't know when it came out, but Warcraft's been along forever. Like, our lives for the most part, right?
Yeah.
One of the most classic South Park episodes came out a long time ago based on Warcraft. Like, and I granted this is almost 10 years ago, but like there was probably so much that could have happened within a TV show series. I don't know. I know the Warcraft following is pretty large. I don't know how well a series would have done. But it just how bang 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 it was, just bouncing around different characters, different scenes, different places. Like it felt like we were missing so much, and like
Yeah,
the
there's no
action
depth.
scenes were sick. It was awesome. I thought the CGI was great. Like for being
Oh,
that
it
old,
still holds up.
everything
too.
about the movie, like unbelievable, awesome special effects. There just wasn't. There was just. It was hard to follow. It wasn't a whole lot to grab onto. You know.
Yeah.
1994.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, you can't tell me you can't make a season-long show. Now, granted funding and whatnot, but that's how I felt watching it. Was this should have been a TV show?
They
Yeah,
could have made
but
it more
also-
animated, probably, and less of like the definitive CGI.
Yeah,
Probably
Yeah.
would have helped.
but
And then
also
soft
like
them.
TV shows like that weren't big 10 years ago. Like it was all movies,
Getting there,
man.
though. I mean,
Game of
it is
Thrones.
now.
Game of Thrones has to be somewhere around
Yeah.
the exact same timeline as this movie. Now I know
But
that's
it's
not based on
super
it.
CGI though.
And there's dead people and dragons. I think that would classify. But
Later in the
I
seasons,
agree.
yeah, sure.
I agree with that take, but for just
Chris,
how
when did
long?
Game of Thrones pull that up?
Season 1 of
I
Game of
wanna know.
Thrones. Need to see it.
First season
I bet it
one
was
of Game
before
of Thrones.
2016.
Hit
Guaranteed,
$1
like
million on that.
2012.
No, I don't think so.
What's
It
your
was
year
on it.
guess?
It was
don't,
on it.
Don't pull it up yet. Don't pull it up yet.
2000
What's your guess, Keith?
2016. It
Two-
might be.
2000.
That might be season
2011. 2012.
Okay, let me give you this. We were watching season 8 of Game of Thrones in college in 2016.
Yes, it's got.
2017.
I swear, Jake.
Yeah.
My buddy Jake back in the day used to have people over to watch, and I think we were in almost either grade school or early high school.
Think about a season coming out every year and a half ish from back to that.
2011,
Yeah.
2012 is where I'm at.
I'm talking 08.
Fact check
I'm gonna
it.
throw out 08, 09.
Oh wait, love that.
Oh wait, that's a
Post
good
2016
pick. Oh,
is
wait.
crazy.
That's
crazy.
crazy. You should be
It
shot
feels so long
for
ago.
thinking that.
Damn,
2011.
bang from the corner, bang. Dude, yeah,
I
not
don't
close.
think it got super. We didn't even see dragons until when? What season they showed?
Spoiler alert. I don't know.
Yeah.
Season 3, I think, when they're born. I don't know.
Wow. That CGI is actually.
I think
pretty
it's
good,
season
too.
3 when they get born.
All right, I'm
No,
bullshitting.
well, yeah, season
I'm
1
out.
eggs, whatever. We're not gonna spoil everything.
Let's get into it. I've created my own category of 3 for beginning of movies. Music, setting stage, and gotcha moments. I really was excited about this one because I know some of the movies we've watched, you wouldn't necessarily expect the gotcha, but getting to set the stage. Kind of get honey dick by this one. The music's awesome. Checkbox music, great. Building up,
Yeah.
going through the kind of the producers or whatever, studios. Love the fact that Blizzard's on there. Makes sense, the gaming studio, but like tagging them in there, you have to. But as a gamer, love to see the Blizzard being on there and represented. Music leading into the intro was awesome. The gotcha moment, no, didn't do it for me. Those two guys, the human and the orc fighting kind of off the rip. I thought we were going to see something to kind of hook you, and it was just a jump and a nothing, black screen. And then it just goes to Durakan and Graka, I believe, are the two. I'll have to look that up, but I think it's Durakan and Graka. No, I'll get it back up in terms of the
Durotan.
Durotan, and then Graka, I believe, is his wife. But it just cuts to that, right? It's black screen, music, build up, black screen, sad talk. Like what? Like this is Warcraft, man. Give me something. So I think it set the stage. I had that as circle. I don't know what that means. I have a check mark in music. I have an X in gotcha, and I have a circle in setting the stage because I think they kind of did that by telling you that they had to vacate their planet. So I think they at least did a good enough job setting the stage for what we were about to watch. Not great.
Yeah, I don't think you really needed anything deeper than that, too. Like, their world's fucked up due to their own actions because they looted and tooted everything, and now they're looking for something new.
Love that term.
Looted and tooted.
I think I
Looted
might
and
live
tooted.
that might be my new motto.
Looted and tooted.
But that quick overall scene where it's like, yeah, we're leaving. I think that's really all you needed because they're orcs. You know what an orc is, right? You don't need a huge introduction about what their race is. And then you got humans, right? So it's like there's already conflict before they even start.
I'm with Brendan on the no gotcha, and I'm also with you, Geese. But I think my feelings with the intro is I wanted a little bit more of a backdrop. They told us, we didn't see it. I'd rather see it.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
It's a great point because I think, as we're going to continue to get through it, that's what they did the whole fucking movie. Like,
Yeah.
you just got what you got, and we're moving on. Like, we're just going.
Yeah.
And, like, they told you what was happening, and then bang, we're there. Like, we go, and I don't know. You're on the edge. You're not on the edge of your seat, but it's moving fast, and I think that's kind of what we're looking at here. But I also wrote down initially, like, the orcs look good. The orcs looked good.
They did.
That's
the
2016.
CGI holds up, man.
I bitch about CGI in movies today. The orcs look good. You can't argue that. Maybe you can, but you shouldn't.
No, dude. And the CGI they did on this felt like a big budget film, right? Like it felt like they took it pretty serious. The budget, I think it was like two.
I'm gonna guess. Hold
maybe
on, I'm gonna guess.
We can guess.
I did look it up.
So
I'm
you
gonna go
could
20.
I don't have
20
it all.
million.
20 million. I don't know. I'm assuming that coach me up on this. Do the actors and actresses, is that all included in production? Like in terms of the price?
Yes.
I think so. That's part of budget, yeah. Gotta
Okay,
be.
so it has to be low because I don't think those people were that huge. I'll go. You said 20. I'll just say I gotta go. Like, I don't know. There's too much CGI. 50 million.
Okay, I think you both are way off from what I read, but I can't remember. I think it's like 180.
That would make
If you
sense.
if you can't remember, it doesn't matter. You know?
And then I think it raked in 400.
Damn. I remember when this came out and people were like,
You got to remember,
flocking
though,
to it.
CGI back then was expensive. So
Oh yeah.
I think, like, after the global marketing and everything, like, all in, I think it only grossed like 120 or something like that.
I mean,
Maybe I have
it's
some
still-
numbers
That's
mixed
still
up in
damn
there.
good for any studio. Because I mean, the studios are getting paid. That's part
We
of
never got a
part of the
sequel,
budget.
so I don't think it was that great.
It might get one.
Good.
I don't know if I'd want it. I guess CGI
No, but,
maybe better
I mean-
storyline. Or if they go into a series, I'd watch it.
What do we got here?
What's the budget?
So worldwide was 439 million. See, domestic was 47.
That's what they made, though, right?
That was their opening. Their
what's their
gross. Yeah, that might be a separate question there.
I mean, that's huge numbers, though. Come on, internet.
You got to remember this was an audience favorite, not a critic favorite. So in terms of making money, that makes complete sense.
Well, I mean, international did like far better than domestic. So I mean, America didn't take it serious.
I wanted
But
to
I-
touch on that sequel point. There wasn't one. There was never a sequel.
No,
I assume
no,
not. They left the door open for sure.
I would watch a series. I wouldn't recommend watching another movie, or I wouldn't like go out of my way to watch another movie.
I'd
You know
wait
what I
for
mean?
it to come
I
on
would,
streaming.
I would watch a series. I would do it.
I'm not seeing this movie in theaters. You know,
No.
like it's
No, it definitely.
Budget was 160 million.
That makes sense, dude. I'm ignorant
That's
to.
what it was. Yeah.
I'm ignorant to those
Holy
numbers, but when you see the CGI, everything was fake. I mean, it's all. There's no
Yeah,
work.
I
it's
wonder
all
what each
set.
studio got.
No, they actually filmed this in Vancouver. For a majority of it, outside of obviously CGI and everything. But you know,
Canadians are
CGI.
that big? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. This is yeah. So grossed 47 million in the United States, 391 in other
They
countries.
knew international was going to be big. I don't even think they cared about
Well,
the
but yeah,
U.S.
we also know we don't know this
Yeah,
data on the Warcraft player base, right? Like it's probably bigger outside of America.
yeah,
That would
that's
make
true.
total sense. So, um, but anyway, the orcs look great. I want
Yeah.
to, and they. But here's the thing: like, you get the intro, you get the conversation. She's pregnant. You get we got to move on and take over, and then they're there. Like the portal, they knock that shit out fast,
Yeah,
and
your
they
Oh,
your
yeah.
bring.
point your point from the beginning of bang 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 bang.
Yeah.
It
Oh, yeah.
starts right away.
It just goes, and like they get there, and they can't bring everybody, so they bring their just top dog war chiefs, right? The war chiefs, the Wartons, like the biggest, whoever the chieftains, and then
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
big dogs, and they just bring an army in order to then take over. And I think the Fell, Goldon, our guy Goldon, who's leading the charge over there, it's got the magical Fell powers. Just it lives off of life energy.
Yep.
So what fuels it is life energy. They swamp that blue, whatever the blue race was of aliens prior
Yeah.
to the beginning, where they were killing them to open the portal, and then they were going to come take over Earth, and then they're there. And correct me if I'm wrong. When Draka had the baby, also that portal scene, weird, didn't make a ton of sense to me. What was going on there? I guess it's just what happens when you walk through a portal.
It felt like a time rift more
Yeah.
than a portal, right? Like you're looping wormhole instead of just like your portal.
Just
I don't know.
walking
It
through.
did. Yeah, it did feel weird to me.
Yeah.
I did like the beginning though, where it's like you knew something bad was going to happen to all that race that was all uncaptured and everything. And then he just iced them, just melted them all just to make this portal, and it's still it used that much life, and it's only that temporary,
Yeah.
and it just shows how much the Fell has consumed their old world. That's at least how I took it.
you know what's funny? They didn't put a little sticker on there. Do not use if pregnant. You know what I mean? Like
No, yeah,
No,
they go through that.
So
Hey,
that
like if you're a chick and you have somebody
to
whatever
that
they call chick orcs, chorks maybe, I don't know.
well, that was where my question was going to come from. Was the baby dead? And then the Fell
Yes.
on him back, or was it just weak and like he just immediately took it over with the
It was
green?
either dead or dying.
I think it was dead.
Okay, it looked pale, but
He-
again, they are all different colors, so I didn't know. I just assumed it was a baby, and then Goldon I didn't know, but immediately brings the Fell into its life because we
Oh, yeah.
learned that the green orcs were the ones that were, I don't know, infused or enchanted by or cursed by the Fell or empowered
Yeah.
by the Fell, where there was red orcs and whatever different color orcs that weren't a part of that. So kind of just dicks them off the back. If you're Duraton, I'm gonna get that right eventually. Duraton, like, yeah, you want obviously at end all be all, you want your kid to live, but Goldon immediately infuses this kid with
Well,
the
they
Fell.
didn't know either. They didn't know
No.
what the Fell was doing. They didn't understand the principles of what made it work.
Right.
And so it's like at this point in the film, like he just saved your child, and he's leading this entire war band of your race and everything. He's like de facto leader, and you're just like grateful that your one child is staying alive without realizing that anyone that gets sucked up into this shit eventually is like beholden to it.
Yeah, I don't know. You kind of get an initial second guessing from everybody who's not green.
Yeah, no,
I feel
there's
like
little
everybody's already
signs and context in there where you're like, something's going on.
I didn't.
Who's the big guy that wasn't Duraton? He
The
ends
war
up getting
chief
like,
or his buddy?
yeah, war chief. Not his buddy. The guy that gets like super built up later in the movie.
The Black Hammer? Blackhand.
Black.
Black,
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah. Blackhand was
Yeah.
the war chief for
He-
Goldon, so he's kind of the
yeah,
dog.
he was one of those guys that wasn't really like second guessing it because he probably had, he's paid off.
I'll be honest, when I saw they were different colors, I don't even know if my brain realized it until They made it clear and obvious that that's
Right.
the reason
I'm
why.
with you.
It was just orcs. Like, I don't know. I don't hang out with too many
I
orcs.
thought they were green orcs.
Yeah, I don't know. Shrek, I don't know.
Could be.
But
That's an
Buttons.
ogre.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. But then bang, right? Like we're in, and then we're summoning the Guardian. Like we get Khadgar, the mage that dropped out of Here Toten, I believe is what that was called. The head
Kieran
of
Tor.
Kieran Tor. Sorry, Kieran Tor. Khadgar drops out to kind of do his thing, and he shows up with Lothar or Anduin Lothar, one of the top warriors for the King's Guild. They're skeptical at first, find out more about him. Quick conversation. We got to summon the Guardian. Don't know who that is. Very important though, because the orcs are taking over the world. And side thought, real quick. There's always 7 kingdoms, and no matter the movie,
That's a good point.
it's always 7 kingdoms. It's always 7.
It's a good number.
It's a good number.
Great number.
Jinx.
Great number, but it's always like the land of the 7 kingdoms. There's never
The
8,
7
never
kingdoms.
6. 7
Then
kingdoms.
there's 7 races, and
Which were
7
irrelevant.
groups.
Relevant.
Yeah.
I didn't see a dwarf throughout the whole movie
Bullshit.
outside sitting on his ass in the castle.
He was beginning of the movie when we got introduced to Lothar.
That's what,
Showed him.
that's what he's saying. Yeah.
No, and he was later in the movie. There was dwarves at the end, like the
Yeah,
same guy.
that's-
Very brief. Or
that's
sitting
what
in
I
there,
But
remember.
not
at the
not
round
like
table.
a group of them.
No, but we got introduced to the dwarves like as soon as we got introduced to Lothar, and then
That's a good point.
they're just gone. I was like, okay, cool, because I remember some
But what
of
are
the
they going
things.
to do? You know,
Hey, we need all hands
Craft
on
shit.
deck. All hands on deck.
just start punching nuts.
yeah. But Khadgar, comes in. We summon the Guardian, right? Who knows who that is? But shit hits the fan fast. I think this is all this is like 10 minutes. Like we're
Oh, yeah.
we're 10 to 12 minutes into the movie, and and
he doesn't
gotta
explain
summon.
anything either.
No.
You got to listen to the Guardian tell you.
Well, and it's like only the king can summon the Guardian. They go to the king. No one's talked to this guy in I think 6 years, and then they just show up, tell Khadgar not to touch anything, and his tattoos shine and draws him to a book, and then the Guardian just like fucking
beats his ass,
bolts him to the wall. But yeah, we get to the Guardian, weird guy, creating a golem out of clay and infusing it with magic that
We talked
becomes
about that
relevant
walk
later.
up the steps. I mean, I ain't making that in a day.
Lothar was
I'm
hurting.
taking a break. I'm taking a
No
break.
chance am I making that.
Do we have a
dude.
concession stand halfway through? Like, can I get a hot dog and a lemonade?
Let me get a hot dog.
Lothar was gassed.
Yeah.
Gasping for air. And then they were at the top. It's like that. It always is like, God, this, okay. Gone, bang, top, full breath, completely composed, no problems. And that's when they see the golem, they come back. And the Guardian, I don't know, how high up were they? They told him to stay down there. How many steps? I don't know. A billion?
Oh,
A billion?
I mean,
I don't
it's taking a long time to get up there.
And
he's
the
just
Guardian's like,
looking at books
at least 5.
The Guardian's like, who's downstairs? Okay, all right,
as
dude.
if he doesn't know
Like-
already.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
He knew you showed up. The all
He's not
scene.
slacking off in his pit of Nazareth pool up there and
Pretty
soaking
sick.
up
Pretty
the
sick pad.
energies.
Pretty sick
Yeah,
pad.
Not a bad pad.
Definitely a bachelor up there. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Best part about that scene, though, was when they did go down to find Khadgar, kind of doing his snooping around, and they throw him around and shit, and then they realize, like, okay, he's gonna help us out, and Lothar sticks his hand out to help him up and walks away. That'll never. It's like I don't know, guys farting.
Signals all the time.
It's like guys
Oh, yeah.
farting. It's always funny. It's always gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Like you're in
Yeah.
public, dead silent, somebody farts, I'm gonna laugh every time, forever.
I definitely thought that Khadgar was nefarious looking through all the books. Like, my suspicions was on him for, like, being the antagonist, what have
I was
you.
with you for a little bit, and then I figured out he was innocent, kind of, with some of those things.
Yeah, I feel like once you see Medivh react, that kind of goes out the window.
Yeah.
But, like, he's following, like, this shadow. And you're like, oh, shit, like, that thing's gonna infect him. Like, that is not a good thing for him to be interacting with. And I think I think that kind of went out when his tattoo started glowing, and you're like, okay, like maybe this, like he's connected in some way.
I definitely had pegged Khadgar as the bad guy early.
Yeah.
Like I don't. It was post this. It was after this. I can't find it. I'm sure when we get there in my notes, I'll be able to kind of plug in where I thought he was the guy. But
Turns out it was just bad acting.
it wasn't great. He wasn't great. But I had the same feeling. Like I thought Khadgar early. I wanted to just peg it. Like this movie's not great.
You wanted
That's
to
the
peg
bad
it.
guy.
Got
Like
it. Yeah, you wanted to
And-
peg it. All right.
you know, he's just one of the boys trying to help out.
Yeah.
Guys
Oh,
my
yeah.
age. But the fake handshake or the fake help up will always be funny.
Oh yeah.
It will never
Oh,
not
classic.
be funny. But again, you get to this point in the movie where that happens, and I just wrote down like exactly 23 minutes. We're just moving. Like, dude, there's so much happening. 2 hours and 3 minute movie. 23 minutes in, dude, it felt like an hour. Like the amount of content we packed into the first
Like you were
20
saying
minutes.
earlier, like time checking. I think I did that right then, and just to see if I was halfway through the movie or
Yeah,
not.
like is it like a climax incoming? Like we got the
I kept
Guardian.
thinking it was like an hour and a half movie, and we're like, okay, now we're getting somewhere, and it's just like, no, we're still gathering all the fucking characters together,
Yeah.
and so much is happening outside of that. Like, you know, it's not like Lord of the Rings where it's like, all right, here's our hobbit, here's all our dwarfs, here's the wizard. All right, let's go. No, dude, it was like, oh, you got to get your main knight, then you got to go get your wizard, then you got to go get the guardian. Hang on, got to go back to the king, and then from the king you have to go to the orcs,
Which in
and
my
then repeat
thought,
that process all the way back.
in my thought, like the time frame of that, they're all dead. Like if you're throwing in an army of orcs, they're
The orcs work
running
slow.
through everything.
They made it through like one town by the time they
Yeah,
interact
I mean-
with each other.
And they
I
weren't
thought
all on
they'd
the
be
same
going
page.
faster.
Some of them weren't wanting
Yeah.
to kill people. Also,
Yeah.
they couldn't because the people were the energy they needed
True.
to continue to open the portal. But we get our first fight scene, right? Right after that. Once they leave the Guardians, he's coming to help out. Lot of ambushes in this movie. Every fight seemed like an ambush. It didn't matter where.
There's always a
There was
backstab
never
somewhere.
kind of a mono. Like I guess there might be some mano a mano, but which we'll get into. But most of the big fights were just some sort of backstab ambush, and we get our first fight scene where the orcs are in the woods. They come up on the horses and whatnot, and like they get into it. All I wanted to talk about here was one, the wolves were sick. Sick is
Yeah.
my common theme. The wolves were sick. The horse throw. Did you guys catch that? When he just bent or shoulder pressed the horse and
Those
just
things weigh like
fucking hooked it into
1,500 pounds,
Dude.
probably 2,000 pounds.
so cool.
Right, and these humans are just killing these orcs like just hand to hand. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bad acting.
Yeah. And they did kind of win that fight, but at the same time, the Red Orc, that's where you learn about the Fell. Like, because the Guardian ends up casting that spell, which
Dude, I thought
takes
he
them all
just
down.
ate it too. Like, I'm watching this, he's like, and I was like, all right, well, he can counter it, right? And then he pisses off. I gotta go back to my sanctuary, and I thought the fight scenes are actually pretty well coordinated.
Yeah.
Outside, I thought the magic kind of didn't really fit, but like
It just
the
always
action
felt like he was
sequences
taking
were
his sweet ass time,
every
Yeah.
time.
which eventually makes
Granted.
sense. Yeah, but like it just felt like Khadgar was able to do shit pretty quick, and the Guardian is just siphoning in some inner whatever to just do
Some
anything.
energy doesn't even know. He just thought
Yeah.
he was gonna just
And like that's where you learn though only the green ones are going to get affected by that, or that's the green ones are the different because the red ones were kind of backed up, or they're starting to learn this too, so they're debating if they really want to fight with these guys anymore, and they're learning about the Fell and like, okay, we're fine. Why are they? What's happening to them? So that is when it clicked for me that the green ones were different. I didn't have any sort of idea before that.
No, I
We
agree.
have-
That's definitely when it came to
Yeah.
the forefront.
I'm glad
of
they
like,
explained that.
oh,
We haven't thrown in Green Chick yet.
Well, this is kind of where she gets introduced to a T, like to be important. I would say,
Right.
Yeah.
the half breed,
Right.
is who you're talking about.
Yes.
That is, I believe,
Because we do see her earlier than this, but this is the spot
Yeah.
where
That's when she becomes important. But yeah, there's a
name
the
check.
half
By the way, I have
breed.
no
It's
idea.
it's Garona. It's Garona.
Yeah.
Garona.
My Garona.
Yeah.
No.
Garona, and she's the only one that's normal size, like human size, but has the orc-like features.
Teeth.
The teeth, the green skin, the hair's little not well tamed, but normal size. So she's the half breed, and she's a prisoner of the orcs. I don't remember why.
More of a pet,
Yeah,
I would say. Yeah, like definitely
She was
like a
chained
caged
up.
pet.
Yeah, I don't think she was a prisoner.
Well,
She was a
used
disgrace
as
to them.
right.
Yeah.
Well, except for Goldon, who used her as a like translator. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
Was that she was used to kind of communicate and everything because she didn't know English, the native language.
I want to talk about that. Exactly that. A lot of
How?
times. No, I want to. A lot of
Yeah.
times in this movie, there was even so they after this scene even they get captured. It's her and one of the red orcs, I believe. It's a red one, and he keeps saying in orc tongue, like if you speak their language again, I'm going to kill you. That guy could speak English. That orc could.
But
I think-
we were hearing it in English. He was speaking.
Yeah,
Orc.
no.
So
we
the
were
whole
hearing
time-
it in English. They were talking in Orcish.
I don't.
The orcs were talking orc the whole time.
Okay, but I don't know because there was times where they were speaking in orc and they were I had subtitles on the whole movie. There were times where they spoke in orc and you could read it and then they would speak
They
English.
did flip.
Why would they bounce back? I mean,
I
I
think
guess
they
were
used that
small
when there
scenes,
was
small
humans.
sentences.
When there was humans there, like within the conversation, I know that kind of is a direct contradiction to that scene specifically. But when a human was there, they would be talking orc, and then she's the translator. And then other scenes when it's just orcs, it was English to us. I think that's how they were differentiating it.
I would.
A small bit where like he did. I think he might have said, "I will kill you" or whatever in English or whatever he said in that thing. I think he did say that in the right words, but I think everything else that they were just speaking to each other, just whatever. We heard that in English, but in reality, they were probably speaking.
I think I don't. I disagree. I would like to dive into this deeper. You know, if Chris can find something on this, I don't agree. I
I
think
mean, he's saying that they spoke English in that scene, and I agree.
my thought
But
is they knew English and just smashing the keyboard over there.
yeah, Keith, shut up. That's what we got.
Was that loud?
Very loud.
Oh, sorry.
My thought is that I already did it too. I think they knew English, and the reason he said that was because it's basically like being a prisoner. If you're Russian getting capped by Italians, you don't give them anything. Like she was giving them, talking back, telling them like, "Hey, I can communicate with where they are," and he's just like, "Shut the fuck up," like just stop speaking to them. Like I think that's how I took it. I didn't take it as they were speaking actually in Orcish when we heard it in English because they spoke Orc in the movie. Like there were scenes where they were saying a made up language.
Yeah, but they definitely flip back and forth
Right.
between
I
that.
think they all knew English. You're saying there were times where they were speaking Orcish, but we just heard it in
Yes.
English.
Yeah.
I don't think so. There's no way.
Because she was translating, though. Like, how else do you take
Where
that?
did she translate?
She translated in... There was a specific... I can't remember the
Yeah,
specific...
she did.
No, that definitely happens.
I
why?
agree.
Because we were going through scenes like this.
Yeah, dude, like it's. I think that probably got mentioned, but like I don't think it ever was that true. Like, I think that they spoke English. Like, I'll deep dive this after this, but I don't think that they didn't know
No,
English.
Later in the movie, there is a full scene. Well, we'll get to it. There's a full scene where they go back and forth and they're on horses together, and she's there specifically to translate.
Yeah. Acts as a translator between
Some of
Lane
them.
and Durotan.
Yeah, some of them, but like Goldon.
That whole scene, exactly. Yeah, no, that
but
whole
Goldon
scene before
spoke
the halfway
English.
point.
I think Gul'dan spoke. I think some of them spoke English. I don't think none of them. I don't think all of them didn't know English. That's my point. Some of them 1,000% agree with it. Other ones, I don't know.
Well, okay, you might be onto something because didn't they talk about previously being at this place before? Like they had fought here at this world. Maybe they had picked it up.
I don't
Well,
know.
no, because there was peacetime and everything. So, but then how do you get a hybrid orc? There had to have
We're
been
on to the
humans
next
there.
scene. Brendan, go.
Yeah, bang, bang. We don't want to waste too much time. Garona, introductory. Not a whole lot of character introduction here, right?
No.
Because we're moving, we're going. The movie's progressing. Like, you see who they are. It took me 45 to an hour to learn all of their names and probably still didn't get them all by then because you didn't get all that. There was no character introduction, but we get Garona. She's joining the humans, essentially. Take her prisoner. This is where I wrote down, I told you I'd tell you when I saw it, I do not trust Khadgar. That didn't turn out to be an accurate prediction. But this is where we start to see the Red Orcs kind of flip the switch on Gul'dan, and they're ready to make a change. They want to set up a meeting with Garona. They want to talk to the king. They want to talk to the humans. And Duratan is trying to lead the charge on that, and he's getting a little bit of backlash within his inner Red Orcs. And obviously the Green Orcs are not on board.
Who outnumbers at this point? Is it more green than red?
Oh,
I don't remember.
Yeah, because
Definitely
more green than
even Blackhand, who ends up being the war chief, was not a green orc. He was a red orc.
Right.
There's some of them just weren't. They weren't bought into the. They were just bought in on Gul'dan. They weren't bought in on the why behind. They wanted to kind of rebel or help the humans out. So I think far and wide, the red orcs were outnumbered, and that's where Duratan speaks to Garona about flipping, and then we keep moving. We just quick meeting. Garona, Duratan, meet. I don't know how they got together so fast, how they set it up, but they did.
Next
Bang.
scene.
On to the next one. There's where we get the elves. Here's where we get the dwarfs. We got the round table. And all hell's about to break loose because we got to defend the Seven Kingdoms. And we got the round table. And this is where, again, I'm like, we see elves, right? We see the dwarves again. We're going to get some other races in here. We're going to get the elves. We're going to get the dwarves. We're going to get all these, these fantastical beings that are now involved in the movie and part of the fight. No, they're not. All they do is argue.
Next scene.
They just argue. The elves are out. They got purple eyes. They're not helping. We don't believe it. We're going back to our place. Bang.
Purple
We're
eyes
going.
sick.
Very cool. Very cool. The
Purple
elves
eyes
look
are
cool.
sick.
Wish we would have saw more of them.
I know.
I feel like that's such an
We needed
that's such
200
a,
million, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so important to Warcraft too, are all these different races, and we still only get humans and orcs.
Literally.
Maybe that's the story. Maybe that story that they riffed from is humans versus orcs.
It's part 2.
But to introduce people who have no idea what Warcraft is, it's humans versus orcs, guys. I'm matter of fact on that one.
Literally, I think in Warcraft character creation, you have to pick a race. Like, you have to pick dwarf.
Yeah,
you have to
no,
pick
you
a
do.
mage. You have to pick an archer. You got to pick an elf. It's not humans versus orcs. Maybe
And
that's
it's like the most stereotypical character too. It's the knight with the sword. Like, where's your arch and the mage? Where's your archers at?
zero. Zero.
Where is Legolas?
Zero.
Where is Legolas?
Zero bow and arrows this entire movie. 0 arrows were shot. It's crazy. Didn't even think
Fact
about
check?
that.
Oh shit!
I fact checked it. I think there was 0.
I
That'd be crazy.
I don't think we saw a bow and arrow or a crossbow or none of that. We saw spears, like throwing daggers and shit.
They talked about archers on the ridgeline, and
I'm sure
I don't
that
think you
in between
ever saw
the bang bang bang, like I'm sure they were there fighting somewhere. We didn't see them in 2 hours. Didn't get them. We're moving though.
Hold on. You said we're talking $160 million, you guys, and we can't get a little bit of tidbit of a guy going.
We can't light those things
that's
on
that's
fire
what-
and shoot them
that's
out.
what-
That's what the elves are
That's
there
what,
for, dude.
$1,000. $1,000.
Orcs build shit. Orcs build shit.
You
Elves
pay a guy like
shoot shit.
$200 an hour. He takes 5 hours to go like this.
I think that
$1,000.
I think the elves absolutely, but like they all bailed. I think that round table, that quick, 35-second scene we had, they all those people bailed on them. The elves left, and whoever the guy was that said we're leaving, Never knew it. He might have been a druid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't even know his name. But he was the one that stood up and said, "We're not helping. We're out."
But then again, you got orcs burying and burning and stealing people.
Looping and pooping.
Probably gonna
Looting and tooting.
Yeah, looting and tooting. You're probably gonna retreat.
Yeah. But
Especially if you're a little elf. What are you gonna do?
elves, like in this sense, are big. I think like fantastical elves are big. I don't think they're
like
small.
4 foot and weigh 300 pounds, Brandon. What are they gonna
No, that's
that's the
bowling
dwarf.
ball.
That's the
A
dwarf.
dwarf. Okay.
Elves are like
That's the-
elves are
That's
pointed
the elves
ears.
that make cookies.
Elves are pointed ears, like usually because like in Lord of the Rings and stuff, like elves are big.
Let's bring it back to a sick scene.
Love
when
to.
He builds the Rudy Tooty aim and shooty.
What is that
thing
called?
was sick.
It was like I keep wanting to call it the moonshot, but I just been playing MLB and that's what they call
in
something.
Pirates or whatever they call it, the
the-
blunderbuss or whatever.
It's like in like Fortnite.
Oh,
it's like the
Sawed-off shotgun or something.
no,
Yeah,
it's the one. It's the flint.
Wonderlust?
The
Flintlock.
The flint pistol or something that you can shoot at the ground and
pistol,
you go
yeah.
flying in the freaking sky. I think they call this one like the boom shot or something. But
Yeah.
Sick.
I have
ball
I have
buster.
such a good question on that later in this movie. Such a good question. But yeah, the boom shot, those things were cool.
What made me think of that is the dwarf guy making it, and how about what's his face? Boomstick. What's his face? He's like looking down the barrel in the background of the scene. Do you guys see that?
Who?
Yeah,
He like
dude.
hands it to him. What's his face? Lothar, whatever. What's his name? Main
Lethargic?
guy.
Lothar.
Lothar.
Anduin
he's,
Lothar.
yeah, he's freaking looking at it, and he's it's all loaded and everything. He's just looking down the barrel. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
And that might have been a better movie.
A better
If what?
movie? What are you
If
talking
what?
about? Oh, he just shot himself.
No.
Budget would go
Lothar was Lothar.
No, I'm kidding.
Lothar was solid. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Lothar was solid.
He probably was the best part of the movie. Best actor in the movie.
He's the hero.
Yeah.
That's to be determined, I would say.
Brendan, on to the next.
On to the next scene, guys.
Yeah,
This
next
is where
scene.
we're going to find
Bang.
out that the Guardian and Khadgar are now together up at his castle. I can't remember what that's called. But yeah, we're here. Now we're there. Khadgar, tons of research, tons of papers. Guardian comes in, just burns it all in like 2 seconds. All of it gone. Burns
Yeah,
it.
because it's all from the book that Khadgar took from the Guardian's library. And is he seeing visions at this point? I can't remember.
Who?
But Khadgar, because he's writing all these notes down and everything.
I think he was
gotta
just
be
talking about it and whispering. I don't know if he saw anything yet.
gotta be transparent with you. Didn't see one vision that whole movie.
No, but I think he told us he
Oh,
saw. it.
I was gonna say like I didn't. See,
No.
There was no visions.
Bang! Next.
That's 300 million if we want visions in the movie.
Yeah,
We're on a
no visions.
$960 million budget.
But no, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all from that book, and then the Guardian comes in, just torches it, because and at the time you don't know, but he doesn't want him figuring it out. What that leads him to.
Well, exactly, and it was weird when he burned it all. It was 2 things: 1, red flag, bang, put it up; 2, just a power move, like fuck you, kid. You know, I'm the man.
Yeah, you don't know shit.
What are you doing all this for? I already know it all. Like burn it all. I'm the guy.
Doesn't he say, "I'm the Guardian"? I'm the Guardian.
Yeah, he calls him something, but he's like, I'm the
Still,
guardian.
like he's saying, I'm still the Guardian. Like you
And-
won't, you aren't it yet.
Well, and he knew it all. Like he had all. It's a book of his own. Like he knew all.
Yeah.
Whatever he was researching, he knew it. But there was. We find out he did end up taking one. You know, he got one piece of paper out of there. But like, look at that room.
Yeah.
I would be so fired up. I don't know what you would have done to that guy. Probably nothing.
Nothing.
But I would have been so fired up that he just did that. You know, to everything that you've been working on is just burned.
Oh, dude.
And then it's
With how fast the movie's going, that probably took a long time.
yeah, whatever was happening in between scenes where Khadgar spent that much time doing that. We got papers hanging on the wall. We got papers on the bulletin
Yeah,
board.
bro. Got a whole
Snap
studio.
of the fingers, burned to shreds that quickly. Bang, on to the next scene, right?
Yep.
Because then we're out of there, and then we get the meeting. Or no, I shouldn't have got us to the next one
Shouldn't
yet.
have banged. Shouldn't have banged.
one big point of that scene we did miss. That's when they learned that the orcs were kind of invited in. Like, that's when Khadgar's kind of figuring out that the orcs were invited in.
That the door isn't a single entry,
No.
man. Like, you had to have two to tango.
Yeah, so that's when
right.
they start to pick up on that. Then we get to the meeting between Duratan and the humans. They bring the king out. Garona's there. This is where you're talking about the translation happening. Concur. That is a fact. That is exactly what was happening. Don't remember off the top of my head now if he was speaking to her in Orc or English. Because I had subtitles on, so everything to me was in English. I was reading it. If they were
That's
speaking
a good
Orc,
point. I did have subtitles on.
So-
Maybe that's why I'm thinking that.
yeah, it's like I don't know. We gotta find this out and bring an answer to the table. But that's where we have a meeting. And I don't know about you guys. I didn't really know the outcome of that meeting. I think the Guardian shows up top on the top rope. All I was thinking before anything went down, gotta be an ambush. Gotta be another ambush.
Oh,
Has to be.
It's textbook
They
scene
telegraphed-
in,
yeah, they
in a
telegraphed
valley
it.
of a whatever,
Like in the
And he's
canyon,
the
like
canyon,
rift, right in the middle. Like,
go.
there's
And he sends
nowhere
the
to
guy
go.
away. Go check on our people. Like, yeah, dude. Like, that's the dude. Don't send him away. He's the one telling on you.
You just got
We're
nowhere to
saving
go.
go.
money. We're saving money, guys. It's 160 million. We got to do things the right way.
Nowhere to go. And then, crazy enough, ambush. Ambush. Guardians there.
Pretty sick ambush.
Was it an ambush? I know there was a guy
Yes.
in the
Yeah,
rocks. They came out of the
They
ground.
all were. Yeah.
It
No,
was
I think some of them turned on him.
Orgrim Doomhammer
Olgan
AKA
Doomhammer.
is the left-hand man of Duratan.
Yeah.
He betrayed him because Duratan was working with the humans against their own race. When he sent him away, he called everybody
Wasn't he
to
kind
come
of
fuck him
forced?
up.
He was kind of forced to.
Yeah,
turn
I
heel.
mean, he was. I mean, it's kind of that whole struggle that all these orcs are having. Is like, do we follow the fell? Do we not? He's the chieftain. Chieftain's doing this. We're betraying him. Where Duratan is struggling with like, this is not good for our people, and Orgrim was like, yeah, but this is our people. So I think that's where like that betrayal came from.
I need you to, because you just stole one of the names of my favorite name of the movie from me, and I need you to say it right. Isn't it Olgan Doomhammer? Olgin.
Orgrim.
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 Okay, the
Doomhammer.
subtitles had it as Olgin. So apologize for my mistake. It's the coolest name in the whole movie. Orgrim Doomhammer.
Yeah,
Everybody else
I
was
agree.
one
Doomhammer
name.
is
And his
is
hammer was
badass.
fucking huge. Like, that was a Doomhammer. But yeah, Doomhammer was put in a tough spot because he did have to.
Orgrim.
He goes back and forth throughout the
Yeah,
movie,
Brendan,
right?
Brendan, read the producer note so we can all get on the same page.
I don't have it.
Chris has got
Oh,
it here. I'll
shit.
read it.
Yeah.
In the
There's
Warcraft
24 in
movie,
here? I didn't see this at all.
Some orcs speak English because the movie's portrayal of orc language is simplified for audience understanding, which makes sense. And the movie uses a blend of orcish grunts and roars, along with some English-based dialogue to create a more accessible and relatable portrayal of the orcs. So, I mean, I think we're both right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris,
So-
I had no idea you were putting in the chat this whole time.
Sometimes they
Welcome.
definitely were speaking orc and we were hearing it in English, but there was English being spoken by the orcs
Right.
as well. Yeah.
Right.
That they did not explain that well at all.
No.
Not at all.
On to the next scene.
On to the next
Go.
scene. Fight. Guardian. Boom. Guardian's got the magic thunderbolts coming down, blocks things off. At this point in the movie, I wasn't sure who he was going to be helping. I was kind of that.
I still wasn't sure.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think he was helping the humans, because
I don't know.
Talon, I believe that's his name.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the son of Anduin Lothar. He was like, "Dad, get out of here. I'm gonna go out of my shield." Essentially,
Yeah, because Medivh drops his lightning bolt.
basically like
And-
the swords of swords of light. What is
Of
that?
revealing light.
Swords of revealing light. Yeah, but it's thunderbolts, and it's a
Yeah.
it's a
But then
steel
he-
cage
he pa-
match.
He
Yeah.
passes out, and it's still going. Like, what universe are you in when the magic caster passes out and the spell keeps going? You know? like typically that would stop, but it doesn't.
He's got a lot of power.
That's where they
It's
spent a lot of
separated.
money. That's where they spent a lot of the 160
We
million.
needed those thunderbolts to stay down there.
It looked good.
The lightning bolts,
Yeah.
whatever.
To that point,
Did look good.
It looked good.
Did you guys think so? Obviously, Callan gets cut off, which Callan, he said he was going to die. Essentially, I'm going to go out. I'm going out on my
knew
shield.
it. There was like 3 or 4 humans on one side with all the orcs,
Well,
and
yeah,
then
but
everyone
they
else
didn't
is on the
know-
other side.
They didn't know that was about to happen, though. They didn't know the lightning bolts. Like Callan decided that
No.
before that wall of lightning came down. He said, "I'm Dad, get out of here, get the king out of here. I'm
Yeah.
going out on my shield. I'm taking these things on, die for
Right.
the king." And then the lightning came down, and then for sure you're fucked. Like there's, I don't know, there was still like 40 orcs in there, and there's 3 or 4
The
knights.
whole war band's back there, technically.
He
like,
trapped them. Yeah, I think he trapped all of them. So I don't think at this point the Guardian was acting against the humans. I think he did
But
trap
the Guardian's up there too, so it's like he should have seen them. You know, it's like.
But they're in
he
hand-to-hand
was there.
combat.
Well, no, I
He was
know,
kinda
but like
lazy. I think he was kind of
to
lazy.
the point of it's an ambush. The Guardian was up there to stop the ambush, I think.
Yeah, that I don't know. I doubt it. I think
And then he had trouble getting it up and everything, and like that's why the spell was so
Trouble getting it
delayed.
trouble getting it up, huh? I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem.
No. He might. I don't
pretty
know.
common in
He might
Guardians,
be
I
8 million
hear.
years old. Yeah, I agree. I think
Cialis.
I don't know if he was up there because of that. You would assume, or you would assume they didn't know he was there. I don't know, because the guy just kind of came and went as he wanted. But this is kind of where I thought, and I don't know where you guys had it, but I thought Lothar was maybe going to get through there. I thought maybe with that, with the shield, I thought he was going to maybe get through there. He didn't. That was Black Hammer, I believe.
Yep.
Savage kill.
Black Hand.
Black Hand.
Yeah.
Savage.
The Black Rock Clan.
Savage kill
Oh,
scene.
Brutal death.
Savage kill scene.
Like, there's things this movie did right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think when it came to the action scenes, you didn't have to worry about the story that's being told, and those scenes shined because the gore, the choreography of all those scenes and everything, I thought were obviously the highlight of the film. And that death, especially at because this is the midpoint, really.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to ask.
And him just crushing him right through the torso and
He
everything.
had the
just,
3 claw, like the Freddy Krueger, just fucking.
yeah,
boom.
he's got the fell now, right?
No,
And
I don't think so.
I thought he did.
No.
no, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No.
He got his hand cut off in the beginning. He got his hand cut off in that first fight scene.
No, he got his hand cut off by a Duraton when he was going to kill himself because it was orc culture was they bailed in that fight scene and then Duraton cut his hand off, so they gave him a new weapon for a hand. He was not fell yet. And I know exactly when he turns fell.
Was that a
Yeah.
wet? I see. I thought they used the fell to forge.
No,
things.
that was like
he already had those, but they were smaller.
they just got to cut it
Oh,
off.
yeah. Okay, you're right.
So then he got this massive like claw weapon on his to replace his hand.
dude, the prong, man.
It was like a
that thing is
predator
sick.
fucking type
Yeah.
of
Just ran him
savage,
through, bro.
Savage kill. Awesome.
Especially right in front of your father. I
Yeah.
guess Black Hand doesn't know that. And then there's
Or does
no
he?
way to get to him, and you almost had it. You get pushed back, and it just right in front of you, man.
I think he knew, dude. There's no way. I think based on
He was
the
looking
look,
right at him.
yeah, the look over,
Yeah.
he had to have known. Who knows? But savage kill scene.
Well, yeah, and it's more of like a bragging. That's not the right word. Show off, maybe cocky to
Yeah,
kill him in front of him because you know.
but that's part of him knowing.
No, I know,
It was
that's what I'm
also,
saying.
or just a dominance thing too.
Yeah,
Asserting
Yeah.
dominance over him. But yeah, it definitely felt like that was the halfway point for me. Didn't really know what we were going to get after that. Callan wasn't super important.
No,
Not at all.
Why would he be?
Yeah.
Why would he be?
Nobody-
Successor,
not
maybe.
many
The only
people
thing
later
you
on.
know about him, is that he's tried to be on the front line multiple times now. Wants to prove his worth. there's no other connection outside of them telling you that they're father and son. Like, bang,
Hey,
next scene. There
I
we
thought
go.
that scene might continue after the son died. It did not. Who would have thought, right? That scene might get extended a little bit. No. On to the next. Guardian's hurting pretty bad, right? We got to get him to Kieran Tor. You also learn here when Duraton comes back to Draka and says, take the baby and go, they're about to start the rebellion, or he's about to die because he's leading the rebellion. They're coming for him.
I think they're going after the people that were
Anybody related
trying
to Duraton.
Yeah. Well, those who were trying to parlay, right? Or trying to work with the humans.
Don't win many of those. Parlays, that is. But
No,
this
we
is
don't.
when you see, like, the green fell in the Guardian because he kind of spits that shit up. I believe,
Yeah.
I think Khadgar notices it first. And he's the only one that would even probably know it anyway, out of anyone, what the fell is or what it does.
Right. Well, yeah, because he doesn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
He knows about it. Let the Guardian tell you. Guardian doesn't tell you about it.
No.
Khadgar never revisits that. And now it's just only 2 people know about it.
Well, and then you find out that Buddy's trying to take over for Doroton because Doroton is like the chieftain of the Red Orc clan, and that guy's talking to Goldon. I think that might have been Doomhammer at the time, where he's like talking about, I'll be the new leader, whatever, and he's kind of trying to take his place. That conversation happens, and that's also where I wrote down Oregon Doomhammer. Sick name. I mean, if you're gonna make a Warcraft character, I'm sure there's 8 million.
That's a sick Xbox,
Organ
username.
Doomhammer.
Organ Doomhammer.
Yeah, that's the first time I realized that guy's name. Didn't even know who he was earlier. I saw the guy with the big sledgehammer, granite maul, they'd call it in RuneScape, but that's what he had. That's where you learn about him. So he's trying to kind of backstab Duraton. Bang, we're on to the next scene. Khadgar returns to the Kieran Tor, which is like the mage's tower where he dropped out of. It was like Hogwarts of the magic system in Warcraft's world here. Comes back, doesn't get a great response from everybody, obviously for dropping out, but kind of gives them his forbidden page that he took, that the Guardian couldn't burn, and how he knows about Aladai, which to this exact moment right now, I still don't know what that is. It looked like it's just a floating, spinning cube that he was able to walk into that they've never opened before.
I think it's supposed to be like the Prophet. I honestly, I'm lost on that too.
No clue.
So.
And it was in the movie for 25 seconds. It seemed important.
I completely forgot about it.
It's that floating like cube that's got purple lights, and they're talking about it, and then he walks up to it and opens a door, and they're like, "Well, I've never seen that." And I'm sure you're a million years old. This thing's been here forever. It's never open. All of a sudden, Khadgar shows up with a ripped out piece of paper, and we're getting in there.
Tattoo.
And the tattoo. That we still no. What the hell's the tattoo? I never really thought about that till right now. What was that tattoo?
I didn't even question it until now.
No, but you said it.
Maybe we'll get it in the sequel.
Hey, the sequel.
Yeah.
Hey, no, movies have been known to come out 15 years later when someone needs a paycheck. So I know you mentioned this earlier. We'll bang it on to the next scene here, but I would see the second one just because I saw the first one. I got to know now. A lot of questions that I need
What
answered.
is the tattoo?
And if
We
they
have to
don't
know.
answer it in the second one, I'll watch a third.
What is Medivh? Because the woman that he met, I need to know Medivh.
Okay.
Because Medivh
So-
was also the Guardian, and Medivh was the
Yes.
woman in the cube that was Aladai.
Yes, so Medivh is a Guardian. He is not part of the original plot, of the original gameplay. So they added him in. The chick that is in the cube is also an old Guardian. She's part of the original. So multiple Guardians going on here. I don't know how she got in there. I think I don't know. But
Who?
the chick in the cube is a Guardian.
Can we see a picture of the chick in the cube so I can remind myself?
She was, yeah, we can fire that up. I also
That's
would like
the
to
one
know.
who looks like the witch from Sleeping Beauty.
I would also like
Kinda.
to know the definition
Not
of
Sleeping Beauty.
Medivh.
Snow White.
Like, Medivh
Medivh?
must mean, because if they're both Guardians, that makes sense.
That's just his name.
No, they're both Medivh though. Like they called that girl Medivh, and then the Guardian also they referred to him as Medivh.
Right.
So like I don't know what the Medivh is.
And
You know what I
ends
mean?
up happening? You know we're not gonna have to do it. You know what ends up happening? Bang, on to the next scene. That's how we're literally
Literally-
these things in this movie.
And like that's when Khadgar is pretty much locked in too. On
It's Glenn
like
Close. Okay.
Yeah.
that was
Yes,
a dude.
now I remember her.
All right. So
No, Glenn can be a woman's name, Brennan.
that-
Two ends.
I still don't understand who
So
she
can
is.
Mark, I guess. I don't know. Bang on to the next.
Bang, on to the next one.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know. But Medivh, I'm very curious because they were both Guardians. Because I'm sure the Guardians, the torch being passed, but he called her Medivh, and Medivh was also the Guardian. So there's got to be some kind of
I
correlation
thought he
there.
said it as like a question.
We
like,
need to
Medivh?
clarify this because I'm
And
confused
it wasn't
too.
Medivh. Wait, I got to figure this out.
Who are you talking about? The woman now?
Yeah, the woman.
I think I don't know. He said Medivh. I know that because I wrote down Medivh
I thought
question
it was
mark.
as like a question, like Medivh.
And he found out that's this girl, whatever her name was, told him basically the Guardian has betrayed you, like betrayed everybody.
Guy's just typing on his keyboard.
Just
you
hammering.
can
it.
still hear
I don't
that.
know.
Maybe there's a mute button. It'd be cool if you hit it. You know?
I was trying to be so silent there.
no,
I'm
you're just
shocked
hammering,
that still.
hammering away. But that's when she tells him,
Unplug
like,
it.
she tells him like, the Guardian has betrayed all of you. That's when we learned for sure. We kind of saw it. We knew it. The green smoke
See,
coming out of his mouth. We knew it. but, like,
Elodie is the name of that person. She is not Medivh.
Elodie
Is the Guardian.
was the name of the
Elodie
cube.
is the no. Elodie is the woman.
What's the
I just
cube?
googled it.
Sick.
The cube.
We heard you Google it. Trust me. What's the cube? The cube is not called the cube. I thought that it was all Elodie. Maybe she took the form of a cube. And they've never been able to talk
I don't
to
know,
her.
but she's the Guardian before the Guardian.
Would love
before
to have
there was a
somebody that's
Guardian.
played Warcraft. Please, we need to know the details of a lot of this
I thought
movie.
we had a producer for this.
Well, we do,
Been a-
but
been a
I mean,
little
there's a
slow to
lot
come
of
up
there's a
here.
lot of questions being floated around right now.
It's spell
There's a
check.
lot of things that are just not clear, and that you blame Crit if you want. I'm gonna blame the movie. Maybe we could do that too.
Yeah. On to the next scene.
On to the next scene. Elodie tells him, "Hey, he's basically bending you guys over backwards. The Guardian is not an ally. This dude is part of the Fel." And he goes green. Like that's when he starts to go green. He starts to turn, starts to morph. Doesn't completely morph, but he gets the Fel starting to show a little bit. And then they call for the first time in the whole movie Lothar Anduin. I know we've mentioned it already, but I was very confused at this point. Like why? Well, who is
It's a new
Anduin?
guy.
There's so many names. So many names are confusing except for Orgrim Doomhammer. That guy was
Right.
awesome. Anduin, very confusing for me. He didn't trust Medivh. I think Lothar was the first one to really not trust Medivh. Khadgar was
Yeah.
the first one to learn it and kind of pick up to it, but Khadgar also being a mage, I think the Guardian always is going to hold some kind of respect level. But Lothar, I think, was already kind of picking up on we don't fuck with this guy. Which
Yeah, after his son got fucked up.
I think you're putting too much emphasis on that scene. The Guardian didn't kill the son.
No. But there's the scene after where Lothgar and the Guardian get into it, and he blames him for killing his son.
That is kind of the exact point in the movie we're talking about, though,
Yeah, and
because they
that's what I just said.
Scene.
because they put him now they put him down in the cellars. No, but Anduin is kind of questioning him in that scene, and then the Guardian's like, "We don't need you."
Yeah, because of the whole electric wall. Like that's where he starts
He
questioning.
says
him.
you could have taken the wall down. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's blaming the Guardian essentially, even though like I don't think that's fair. I think that's just losing your son. So he's gonna blame anybody. Obviously, the only thing standing between him and his son was the lightning wall, but it also they would have killed everybody behind him. So, bang on to the
Good
next
point.
scene.
Good point.
Down in the cellars, underrated scene. Lothar's trapped in the cage or prisoner because he's he's kind of freaking out a little bit.
It's too hot to handle.
Little love story going on between Ghidorah and Lothar. Protect the king. Never really. I really don't know if they actually kissed once because it was very odd close and like intimate scenes.
No.
I don't know how you kiss somebody with those teeth, but little love story going
Feel
on
good.
there. Can't wait for the sequel coming out probably soon.
We could have found out.
The sequel
we're
can't.
10
The
years
sequel,
out.
the sequel can't be too far out. So little love story going, and then he's yelling at the guard to get him out. Khadgar, bang, boom, sheep, done. Bah. Let's go, buddy. We're getting you out of here. They're going on to the king, and them are going to fight Gul'dan at the portal and try to stand their ground. Meanwhile, Khadgar is rescuing Lothar to get him out of there and go take on the Guardian, because now they both, the suspicions were there from Lothar. Khadgar, stone cold lead pipe lock,
Careful
knew.
tapping on your careful
Dude, I'm
tapping
just
on your desk.
fired
It's
up.
going boom, boom.
Well, we're just fucking banging their ear.
That's
Might as well
true.
be able to punch the table. Khadgar knew for a fact Lothar had his suspicions. They went to go fight the bigger fight while the army went to go take on the orcs. And then shit kind of got real again.
Yeah.
No thoughts on that. Cool. Move. Bang. On to the next scene. I thought it was
Well, it's
neat.
just so hard to provide like thoughts on all, like it's so quick in between transitions. Like it's like 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes of dialogue about what's going on. They're telling you everything that's going to happen, and then bang,
You know
next
what?
scene.
I think I solved it. This could be why they made so much money in this movie. People had to go back to watch it again.
Just had no idea what happened.
The first weekend, like we saw, first weekend was small, but the second and third weekend, those really came back. People
I
had
mean,
no idea what was going on.
it really is not a memorable movie.
I
Like,
want to.
Memorable? Did you
Yeah.
just say
I
memorable?
did.
The amount of words that he has said on this podcast has been genuine. I think genuine was one of them. Genuine, absolute dawn, or whatever the fuck he said about the movie.
Dude.
Like, not even close. Memorable.
Romance Dawn.
Romance
Memorable, I
dawn. Yeah.
I think
That won't come out.
Memorable is my favorite because
That's a good
it's
one.
kind of it's got a little twist of like
Memorable.
fantasy.
Memorable.
Memorable.
I bang on to the next scene. I want to give a quick shout out to the director here because they did make a lot of money, and at the end of the pod, I would like to jump into why there wasn't a sequel. Can only probably guess, but they
Why there
did
wasn't
make a
one
lot of
yet.
money. There will be one. We know it. Shout out to the director because they did introduce it here because Draka takes Goel, now the baby Goel, go apostrophe el Goel, Grakan Goel go. And they go. They do. Goel and Draka go. Read that back 10 times. They get to the river, and this little, send him down, get him out. She goes, gets him, 5 feet in front of her. Orc shows up, bodies him, bites him in the neck, but he got her with the knife to the chest. So that shout out to the director because they did open the door there. The baby was going to be floating,
Yeah,
so
some Moses type shit.
They planned for more. Now I know we've got plenty of time for the second movie to come out, but
We're working on it.
but they did the director did a good job there. Like they did orchestrate the door to be open to continue this, right?
I'm so interested in what the sequel would be because
Will
you
be.
actually have a full-blooded
find
orc. Full-blooded orc being raised by humans. Like it's the whole Superman type of thing you could go with it. And it just never got it.
It's all part of the plan. No, you're wrong. It's all
Oh,
part of
yeah.
the plan. Like they're not.
Warcraft 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No, they won't have the number. All the movies with numbers are bad. They're it's gonna be Warcraft.
Yeah, but that's all what sequels are anymore.
And then it's gonna have a title. Like it won't
all,
say 2.
all the sequels nowadays are just a number.
It won't say 2. It's been
Murder
too long.
Mystery 2.
Oh yeah, I thought Before Sunrise, Before Sunset. Well, that's not a 1 and 2, but that was 10 years
Yeah,
apart.
that was-
Sue me.
Yeah, and that was back in 2009 when the sequel came out.
10 years apart.
Like-
all 3 of them. 10.
I know, but what I'm saying is that nowadays they don't do that. They just throw a 2 on it.
Yeah, but we're due for Warcraft.
Two.
Goel's no. The Rise of Goel. But yeah,
Kal-El,
Goel.
Superman.
We don't get
the
Goel.
script is right there, boys. We're so close.
On to the next scene. Grok is dead. Thought Duraton was going down here too because I think right after this, Duraton goes for the mano y mano mak gora, as they call it in the
Oh.
orcish term.
Such a great.
It's basically a
word.
trial by combat, right? Of not really, because you can't pick a champion. It's 1-on-1. So Duratan basically is like, fuck it, I'm gonna show all of you who this guy really is, whether I die or not. I'm going mano y mano, and like you find out because of the Matgara. One, back this thing up. When Goldon sheds the cloak,
Oh.
I thought he was an old guy. I'm sure the fell can kind of help him
Master
out.
Roshi, bro.
Holy
Master Roshi
shit.
in that bitch.
You don't. I mean, in the off time when you don't see him, what do you think he's doing? You know, he's doing crunches. He's working out.
Pull them.
He's
Growing
he's
trees.
doing,
Growing trees out of his back.
P9. He's doing
Dude, that
P90X.
shit was sick, man. Like,
Yeah.
him pulling all that off, and he's just like walking up with like all the roots coming
His,
out of him.
ribs.
Like,
It's like his ribs are going out of him.
yeah,
Yeah, well, that's
all it's the fell corruption, but
Durtan was kind of feeding him a little bit of a
oh,
1-2 with a side soda. He got
hand
him.
in the dirt, bro.
He was going.
He was.
Because
No,
that's
we do have a reason for no sequel. I think we got to hear it.
oh
We
boy,
got to see it. Pull it up.
the
Pull it up
no
if you got it.
sequel. Thank you, Crit. It's not there. Got the why behind the no sequel.
Here we go.
Despite the global popularity of Warcraft brand, the Warcraft movie simply did not make enough money for a sequel to be a tempting prospect for producers. In many ways, this is surprising, not least because it was actually the first video game movie to make over $400 million at the global box office, largely thanks to an impressive financial performance in China. That is where my thought logic was
Yeah.
why did it not? $400 million is a lot of money for a $160 million movie, so it's profit. However,
No.
its budget.
That's the break even. So they spent $160 million on the movie, and then another like $300 million on marketing.
They lost $15
Holy
million.
shit.
That's not that bad.
They I
It's
mean,
still a loss.
for an investor, that's terrible.
Right, but
That
for the
movie came
numbers
out
that
as
we're
a
looking
loss.
at, yeah, it's a loss, but $15
But
million
also
compared
look
to
at
$500
the
million.
movies. The fact that the movie scored an unimpressive 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, like that's another reason that like a critic score is a reason for somebody to not make another movie. But in reality, like if they were smarter with their marketing and they sent it over to China, you're gonna make your money.
Yeah,
Quit spending so much on marketing.
And if you look at it, they only made what, 47 million domestic.
Right.
yeah,
That's
45,
a
47.
bomb, man.
Don't even
That is
show
a
us
bomb.
Americans. Just send
No.
it over to China.
No, that's bad.
Yeah.
Have the orcs speak Chinese and just
They
give
might
me
make
the
it.
subtitles.
Somebody else might take it though, guys. We got the seeds are planted on this movie where we could get to a sequel. We got to.
Dude.
Maybe it's us. We
Good.
might have
Once
to do
this
it.
pod hits mainstream, baby,
I
people
could
are
play
going
an
to be
orc.
talking.
I could play
People are
an
going
orc.
to be talking.
Guys, I could play an orc.
We're gonna do
I'm
it.
telling you.
Yeah. Well, the Guardian
Geese
now
could
is.
be a cube. Geese could be a cube. I mean,
Yeah.
I believe that was an artifact.
That was the
No,
Aladdin.
what are the Forge. It's called the Forge.
What was called the Forge?
The cube.
The Forge.
It's
All
called
right.
the Forge.
Well, at this point, we got the mano a mano old school battle going on. Dickhead cheats. Shocker. Uses his magic, right? Kind of, showing the orc. The chinks in the armor are starting to build up against Goldon.
Oh,
The chinks in the armor are going. And this is when you also, simultaneously, on to the next scene, the Guardian is fully transformed into whatever he is now. I think he's turning orc.
He hadn't showered in, probably 2 weeks.
Years.
Greaseball.
I don't know. He didn't look like that until we got to the next scene when
Right.
he was fully transformed and opening the portal. Like he was the one that was opening the portal, and now the horde is coming
That's
through.
the full reveal, is it not? That
Yeah.
outside of like the green causing him to be sick and everything, now he's like fully, felled, and directly contributing to the orcs, master plan.
Well, that fight scene, I think, was so pivotal in the turn of okay, now we definitely have people that are or orcs that are against the fell. They're
That
against
fight
Gordon.
put it all out for everybody. Like now everything's kind of fully explained of like where allegiances are ending up.
Well, yeah, But then he goes trump card and just uses the fell and kills like 5. And then
Oh yeah.
they're like, okay, yeah, we're back. We're fighting for you. Like,
Yeah.
fuck
I didn't
that.
say anything.
Yeah, no, we're
Yeah.
onward. Yeah, the
Ah.
fell. I wrote that. I was like, that is just the biggest trump card. He's sucked the life out of him.
Yeah,
There's nothing
and
you
he
can
can
do
do it from distance too. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to be touching them. Just blah, 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 blah.
No, it's terrible. And he used that against
Ba, la,
Duraton.
la, la.
Duraton died there in that fight.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Duraton's gone. Drock is gone. Goel off to sea. And then the one thing that fired me up about that, because again, if this movie got anything right besides the special effects and the graphics, CGI, etc., all the fight scenes were sick.
Oh yeah.
Gotta love any movie that's based in this type of era, whether it's got fantastical or mythical, whatever creatures, made up beings, or it's just a medieval war movie or like TV show like Game of Thrones. When your king's on the front lines, man, that'll just get you going. And the armor in this movie was sick. Like the swords were
Raises
sick,
the stakes too. Like
Yeah,
when
He's
you have-
huge with all his stuff on.
bro. And he was cooking. Like that guy was not like a soft king. Like he was cooking cats.
they made him feel like a soft king though, right?
They did.
Remind me
yeah.
of
Yeah.
which king was the nephew of Baratheon? What Baratheon was it in Game of Thrones?
Talking about Joffrey.
No, maybe he wasn't
His
a Baratheon.
brother. The oh Jesus.
I don't know
Craig,
what
help
you're
me out
talking
here.
about. The brother of Robert Baratheon.
Yeah, he wanted to be, or he was like supposed to be the king, and then he gets
was gay?
killed by the ghost. Yeah.
Um,
What's his name?
Stannis, Robert, and
he was such a nobody character. Like he was
But
involved.
That's the type of king that I thought he was going
That's
to be.
what they made you feel like he was. Yeah,
Yeah.
soft.
very. But he wasn't.
No.
They did a horrible
He-
job of portraying him until the final freaking battle.
Well, he only had 5 lines of dialogue. You know what I mean?
He was involved though. I mean, he was around. He
Yeah.
was involved
He's-
a little
yeah.
bit.
We need to attack.
He
Next
was.
scene.
Next
He, had
scene.
he summoned the Guardian. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Guardian. Thank you for showing up.
But when
Next scene.
when they ride out like that, I mean that's pretty badass. And the horde's flooding in. So I just thought to myself, like, there's no way they're going to be able to fight. By the way, I just thought of it's Renly Baratheon. I'm pretty sure.
Renly.
Thank you. Thank you.
But the horde is just pouring through the gate. That gate is massive too. By the way, like
There's no way orcs don't win that fight. Like
no,
Right.
and
they're throwing horses. There's a billion of them, and then they got
They're
the
just
fell on
flooding.
their side. Like,
well,
oh.
Gul'dan wasn't really fighting like them. They got the fell in terms
Yeah,
of
but
strength.
he's starting to infect a lot of them with the fell and
Right,
everything.
they have the
giving them,
power, but they like he
I've got the power.
he could have killed them all like very fast. I feel like, and
Yeah.
he was not fighting that in that fight. But they had, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds because the gate was open. That thing was, like I said, huge. So they're
Also, don't want
flooding
to kill them
through.
all because you need them.
You can't. Yeah, you can't kill
Right.
them all.
That was a Minecraft gate for sure. That was another portal.
Yeah. That's
Then
what
you-
I thought, looking at.
Then we're back to where the Guardian's at, and with Khadgar and Anduin, and the Golem is now getting felled up. The clay Golem's got magic infused fell. And all I could think about
Should not have won that fight. Should not
no,
have won
but
the fight.
all I could think about when they kind of get in a situation where the Guardians kind of just like after the Golem is like brought to life like a Frankenstein, he's kind of just doing the ritual or having the Golem do it, and he's not really involved in the fight anymore. He's kind of just possessed, and then when
Is he holding the door open? Like, is that why?
I think
That's
I think
what he's
so.
locked in doing.
Okay.
Like the portal for the
Yeah, holding the portal open for the
Who's
like.
Hodor?
So they were
I mean, this is Game of Thrones. Spin off.
Seven Kingdoms.
Spoiler alert.
Then the Golem is, going, and then Lothar and Khadgar have a moment behind, like, the bookshelves of your typical circular, rounded, top shelf, bookshelves, inside, outside, whatever, talking about what they're going to do, go get, you take the Golem. They cut his head off. He's kind of losing it, and then they get back together, and he's like, basically saying they go get the Guardian to step inside that cesspool of magic, like the green, I don't remember what they called it, but the big circle in the middle. get him to do that. And then Khadgar gets the golem's attention that now can't see or talk because they chop his head off. And he gets him to walk his way. And all I could think about when he's drawing with his little wand, like, he did it multiple times throughout the movie. This is where it really clicked for me, is this is the Disney Channel. Like, when he's drawing all that shit on the ground, it's like he's just this blue, whipping his wand around like, welcome to Disney Channel. So Lothar does get the Guardian to step into the cesspool, and he turns into like the frickin' flaming swordsman, or the whatever that Yu-Gi-Oh guy is, the monster with the giant green. I think it's the flames. I don't think it's the flame swordsman. I could be wrong. Probably making that up. Flame wingman just gets massive, and like the coolest transition ever of like what we thought we were gonna get out of him, and immediately just gets freaking crushed by Khadgar. And like the coolest little transition from human to orc. Fell's taking over. Yeah. I'm in the cesspool. Welcome to the Disney Channel. Bang, golem from the top turnbuckle.
Next scene.
Yeah, literally dead. Bang on the next scene. We're back in the fight. The king and Ginora are back in the fight. The Guardian, for all we know, is like dead. And then, but I think, the bang on the next thing sometimes will get you, because a lot of times you can do that. Let's not forget. Let's back this thing up. Lothar jumps out the window to get on the Griffin. The Griffin
so hard.
The Griffin was sick too. Like a lot of things that were sick in this movie.
The animals were well done.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Does the jump, kind of falls a lot further than I thought. I thought the Griffin was going to swoop him up right there. Didn't. Free falling Griffin.
Talk about trust.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kahunas.
You jump out there and that guy didn't hear you.
Gone. Yeah. Now we can bang on to the next scene. Because we get back to the war. And this brings us back to the flint shot, whatever we called it, the moon shot, the buck bang 3000, whatever. How did so many of them have those guns?
And how were they reloading?
All of them. That looked like a one-shot gun. And
has to be.
12-minute reload.
I don't see a magazine.
That thing was, everybody had one. They had a fire sale down the road before they showed up to war.
They worked really good.
Never missed. They never missed.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. How did they all get those? Because it felt like there was only a couple. It felt like there was only a couple, and we were fighting.
You guys know. You just have to introduce it real quick, and then you can just mass produce.
We got a billion of
them. You can do that if you bang onto the next scene.
Well, let's think back
to
expecting
bows.
Let's think back to a prior conversation about bows and arrows. Why need bow and arrow when you got 18 million pistols? That reload, automatic reload.
They're not reliable.
They turned reload off.
To be fair,
it was unlimited ammo. No reload.
Think about how long an arrow takes to go down. I mean, when you got that thing in your hand, it just goes, and the orc is dead.
Got to hunt around.
It's off its horse. It's off its whatever. It's gone.
Oddly enough, you get the guns. We get the shooting. Bang! We're on to the next scene. The Guardian is now turning the portal back. He's back to human. He flips it, turns it, two-way door, like we talked about. Let's get the people out. Got to get the people out. So we get back to the Guardian. He kind of gets back to, being the Guardian, and like the fellow's gone. They kind of got it out of him.
He's cleansed.
And they flipped it, and then we immediately go to the next scene, and this is where your boy Blackhand gets the because the war chief now is a problem, all caps, because they got him. Now they got him in the fell, and then still we go back to Ginora and the king. At this point, we're in the back and forth for the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. They're surrounding them, and the king basically tells Ginora, like, you have to kill me, because you're gonna die with all of us if you don't. If you kill me, you're gonna be a hero. And I don't know what you guys would have done in that situation. I thought she chose correct.
You have to listen to him.
He's the king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I mean, even if the optics are bad there, one thing the movie does differ from the gameplay plot is that she gets mind controlled by Gul'dan to kill the king.
So she's a better... better spot in the movie than she was in the.
Yeah, I honestly think the gameplay version of it makes more sense. Because, I mean, like, what king is going to ask someone to do that? You just met her 15 minutes ago, right? And
well, no, we don't know. It could have been. It could have been. It could have been 20 years. Could have been 20 years.
15 minutes
I don't
movie
know.
time. You know, I don't think you asked that. It's just, I mean, obviously it's not realistic, but it's just like, that bitch is going down with you too, bro. Like, there's no way out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't introduce mind control at all. So that's interesting. Thought you were a Warcraft guy, by the way.
I wasn't, but yeah, I did research on the movie I watched. Sue me.
Best scene in the whole movie. We get there. There's been a lot of scenes. A lot of scenes. We get another Makara. And I believe it was the war chief. It was Black Hand and Lothar.
Yeah.
And it was, and I,
hang on, because he rolls in.
He challenges
fucking.
Gul'dan.
He rolls in fucking everybody up.
On the Griffin. Yeah.
On the Griffin. And then, he's trying to get the king out of there. And no chance that's happening.
No, they
so
grab the Griffin's leg, right?
Yeah, he fucking yanked his ass down. Not today. And then that scene happened. So yes.
And it's Black Hand versus Lothar.
Yep.
Quick.
Had no
business winning that.
Balls of Steel is a great way to put it,
like,
because what I wrote down was
whatever.
The
What
sliding.
are you putting out here?
The sliding dick slice is what we got.
I would compare it, sports terminology, to LeBron James blocking Andre Iguodala in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. No, I'm winning this sucker.
The sliding dick slice right out of the gate into the stab to the back to kill the most powerful guy you got. Gul'dan then shows his true colors. We got to kill this man, and they're like, that is not orc culture.
No, you got away once.
He just rolled the Makara. Yeah, we've already banished culture once.
Well, and
we're not doing it again.
He killed him the same way his son died. Through the skewer through the back. He wasn't, holding him up or anything.
Well, he also got him with
the
sliding dick slice is what I like to call it.
Oh, yeah, it was step
cool
one
to
and
do
step
that to his
two.
son. Yeah.
No. And he probably would have fit. The slide.
Yeah, true.
I thought the sliding dick slice was a genius makeup. I mean, I got nothing from you guys. Absolutely nothing.
I love it.
It was
I
cool.
do love it.
Stab in the back.
I love Dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shocker. Question, because we get to the next scene. Did they announce Lothar as the next king? Was that what that was?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it, but it kind of felt like it. I put King Lothar ? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King Lothar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Not great to have questions about that, but I didn't know. And then maybe the weirdest part of the movie, the Warcraft popped back up. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
No credits rolled. There was not like a post-credit scene.
Is it over?
Yeah, it was just like the way it started. The Warcraft pops back up, and then it goes right back to the movie. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like there was no credits, and then a post scene. It was Warcraft. Bang onto the next the next scene. And it wasn't long, but you get Goel, human. Geese alluded to it. Kind of like a little baby roar, do the roar, smile, and then
I don't care how much that movie lost. Some billionaire should lose another $15 million to make another one. I'll watch it.
I need the next. You see the whole pod. You've been saying you're in now.
I'm in.
You're in now. All we had to do is talk about it. I guess sick movie, poor execution. A lot of it was cool, but none of it was good. Like the CGI.
It's a bad movie with great parts.
Great fight scenes. CGI is awesome. Zero depth. Zero character kind of build up. You eventually got to know who everybody was. I literally just cannot stop saying that. It's just kind of like you get high. This is a great movie. Like sick movie. Like that's it. That's all I got.
I think it just struggled with the same thing movies that try to adapt or, try to push everything into a single time slot. Like, it just struggled to explain everything. I don't know Warcraft. You don't know Warcraft. Trav don't know Warcraft. Dude, these names mean nothing to me. There's no attachment there.
Let me challenge you.
There's probably some gamers that are like really hard.
Yeah,
on
that's
all
what I'm
this
saying.
stuff,
If I was
like,
a
oh my God,
Warcraft
that's so cool
gamer,
to see these guys.
I'd be so locked into this movie and a massive fan. I'm just not. So like a lot of the stuff that we're making fun of and everything is that way because I'm not connected to it to understand it.
Probably
Yeah.
missing a lot of it. Like where we don't need the bang onto the next scene is probably already answered for a lot of people. That's probably
Right.
what we're thinking
it's
of.
like you already know what the void or the cube was and the guardian and so it's like you're familiar with those characters before going into this.
I need to see the second one. God, we gotta have it. I know this movie, like, it lacked depth. It lacked any sort of great character interaction. There was no...
It felt flat.
Our favorite thing in movies, Brendan, it didn't have any of it. Character introduction.
Nothing.
There was
There was one. It had one. The music was good.
Music was good. But
And cool shit.
Character introduction.
Introduction. They did none of it.
Nothing.
They had a lot of cool shit. Very good job
Yeah.
at getting cool shit out there. That's about all I got. Like, great fight scenes. I'm into this type of stuff. In terms of swords and shields and orcs and all the fantastical make-believe stuff. Like, this is my alley right here. The movie was bad.
It's a fun watch though.
Very,
like,
yeah.
If
I
you
would have
don't,
rather watched it with you guys, I think.
yeah.
If I had a preference after
If
watching
you're not
it now.
going in with a critical mindset and you're just there to, oh, I like this genre, let's throw this on, I'll get on my phone and watch it at the same time. This movie is perfect for that situation.
Yeah, you ain't watching it with your girlfriend. You ain't watching it, it's with the boys or
With the
you're
boys.
high off your ass on your
Yeah,
phone.
I was gonna say what I think something we could start to introduce is what is the watch like?
Yeah.
What would you recommend to watch this? And I think you
who's
hit
watching it with you? Who's watching it with you, or where are you watching it, and how are you watching
It's
it?
a perfect time to watch, right? Like, would you see it in theaters? And when would you watch this movie? I think the theaters. I think I would, if I was a World of Warcraft person.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah,
here's like I'm thinking like preliminary. If you're a Warcraft person, I definitely would have gone to see it. I wasn't.
We should check out the preview for this movie and see how sick it was.
It had
The
to be
trailer's
sick.
The
pretty
trailer.
badass.
It had
the
to be
trailer.
sick.
I did watch. I watched the trailer today. It was
If you
pretty
were
badass.
a Warcraft person, you definitely saw this in theaters.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was about it when it came out too, and like because I knew of Warcraft, I wasn't super
Yeah.
involved in it, but like I knew what it was. And when that trailer came out, I'm like, damn, dude, I'm gonna see this. And then when it came out to streaming, I'm like, oh, Warcraft, right? And I watch it, forgot all about it, to be frank. And
Your name's Alex.
This, for me, and I think you already said it, Trav, but this is a watch with the boys, or this is a high watch.
Yeah, this isn't.
under the influence,
This is instead
for
of
sure.
instead of ranking this movie or like giving it a score, I'm gonna do what you're saying, and I would say this is you're a junior in college, you're coming back with the boys from the bar at 1:30 a.m. and this movie's sitting on Peacock. You toss that puppy.
Yeah.
on. You guys are staying up till 4.
Yeah.
And some of the fight scenes, and you're sliding on your knees and dick slicing each other.
You might actually get it better. Like, you might not
Yeah.
care as much about, like, on to the next scene. Because
Yeah.
you just want it. You want the firepower. You need the neck. Get it on. Like, get on with the damn movie. You're going to get that here. You're not going to get a whole
Yeah.
lot of slow background bullshit. Now, if you watched it
Nope.
at, I don't know, 10 a.m., where are we getting any of this information? I don't know. But all the fight scenes are great. Super cool special effects. Not a great movie, but yes, I agree with you, Trav. I think this is a watch with your boys, watch under the influence. Like, just put on a cool movie Warcraft is definitely on the list.
Yeah, I think so. Geese, what else you got?
Not much. I mean, I know we joked about this movie this entire time, the entire 2 hours. We kind of just bagged on it. It
Well,
was enjoyable,
Hold on, hold
like
on.
we're ready for
when I
number.
don't get.
We're ready for number two.
We're ready for number two, man. It was good enough to get me intrigued, and now
Well,
it has my attention.
I
So,
know what I know what
need it.
realm I need to be in to watch number two. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I need to be locked
Yeah.
into what I now expect, which is just random fight scenes and bang on to the next.
I mean, I get both standpoints. To your point earlier, Brendan, is that as just a movie fan, it hits some of the notes I like. It missed a lot more.
Yeah.
It has a critic score. There's nothing great about this thing.
Here's what I'll add. Now, since we've watched a decent handful of movies, and like we have to at least study them and talk about them and have points and notes and all this stuff. If we weren't doing this, weren't doing a podcast, and I watched this movie, I would have told you guys, yeah, Warcraft's a pretty sick movie.
I
It's
agree. I agree. I agree. And I think this is the first movie we've watched that hasn't been like a very highly rated movie from a critical perspective. So yeah, we're gonna like, okay, it's 47% difference. Critics were not a fan. We were gonna pick up on that because we just watched four. You're only gonna hear from three, but we just watched four of like the greatest movies of all time. And we're gonna watch. We're gonna start releasing some of the Oscars from 2024, and like those are obviously very highly touted movies of last year. This was the first movie that like the critics just shit on, and I think I had that lens on too. Of I understand. I saw both sides. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. I saw both sides. But what you just said of if we were not doing this podcast, we didn't just watch, 4 to 8 movies, whatever we've seen so far of the best of this year or ever. Then you watch Warcraft. Like, yeah, we looked at it different. But if we didn't do that, guys, Warcraft
That's a recommendation.
Warcraft is pretty cool.
Where's the sequel?
Yeah, Warcraft is pretty cool. Final thoughts, I guess, for me, and just wanting to, I guess, extend the question of maybe like we can end this set of 4 in this theme with who got it right, the audience or the critics. I'll cop out now. I'll cop out. I'll go first. I think they both got it right because this movie had added no value to any sort of movie plot, theme, real storyline, any sort of dialogue. You could follow what was going on. It happened fast, but the fight scenes were cool. The CGI, it's based on a video game. It gave you what you needed. People that are Warcraft people, like we talked about, probably would be able to coach us up on a little bit more of what was going on or maybe what we didn't see. But
having someone next to me to explain it would have been nice.
Yeah, and like the movie, the audience, I don't think missed it. From the critics' perspective, they didn't miss it either because it wasn't a good movie. Like,
but the critics aren't like Warcraft type people either. If I pinpoint what a critic looks like in my head, it's somebody that is way too analytical, but that's like their job. So if you're really analyzing this movie, you're not going to like it, which is exactly why we are feeling how we are feeling.
Well,
so like that's why what you're breaking down is correct. Like they did get it right, but I don't know. I think they're missing a point of view that allows them to enjoy it, I guess, if that makes any sense.
And I don't know, and I don't think any of us know exactly if there's a worksheet of what a critic kind of rates a movie off of consistently for every single movie, but you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. It's got to be every movie's different, every genre's different. You got to evolve with time. And if they're grading this movie based on how they're going to grade Top Gun Maverick or how they're going to grade, Honora or any of the Oscar movies, right? Like, you can't watch Warcraft based on a computer game and tell me that you're using the same scorecard. I just can't.
This is really cool. If we see this scorecard, this might really open up our eyes to what we gotta kind of the bones we need to pick with critics. So if Chris can find this, where they have a worksheet that they work off of. We can point out what they're going and
Yeah.
tying off of, and we can go like, okay, that's bullshit.
Well, Geese, where do you fall here? Critics, audience, both? Who got it right?
It has to be both.
Yeah.
I mean, to watch this movie and enjoy it, understand everyone who liked it. To watch this movie as a critic, you have to bag on it. Like, it's not a good movie if you hold it up to the standards of the ones we've already watched.
Yeah.
Or of movies that are getting nominated, winning awards, Oscars. This movie would get trounced every single time. But I'll say, as a feel-good movie, like, to enjoy it on the, Sunday afternoon, I got nothing going on, I like fantasy, I'm gonna toss it on. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously or vice versa, but the audience and critics got this one right. And I'm actually kind of curious if all of the movies that we watched this month end up being the same way.
Well, if we go, his ranking is off of the Rotten Tomatoes, like that's a discrepancy.
Right.
And I know I've talked about it before, but how they determine that is the percentage is how many of them or what percentage rated the movie 80% or better. So it doesn't really give you an accurate, like, they're not rating it at 47%. It's the amount of people that thought it was a pretty good movie. Because there could be people that said, I mean, it was a 65 or a 70,
Right.
but it's getting counted towards being on the bottom half. So I don't know if I like the Rotten Tomatoes score with that. I understand it, and it's a pretty good gauge for some of these movies. But for a movie like this, and we might get it in the next three, I think it's kind of a miss. I think it should be in reality, I bet it's closer to 60% if we average them out.
Critic score?
Yeah, the critic score. I bet it's closer to the 50-60 and not sitting around 47.
Interesting.
I think
it was 29%.
Oh,
47%. 47%
I thought we were rocking
difference.
47.
No,
oh,
that's
47%
the gap.
difference.
That's the gap. Yeah.
Okay.
29 to
All right.
76. Yeah.
So,
all right, back to my point then.
on Metacritic, the film has a score of 32 out of 100 based on 40 critics. So
Not good.
the audiences polled by CineScore gave it a B+. So yeah, it's massive
on par,
discrepancy.
though, but it's on par for different sites, so it makes sense.
32 out of 100 on my test in high school, man.
Can somebody find
it's a failing grade?
Like what are critics looking at? Like what's the categories? What are we grading it off? I need to see that.
I think we're gonna have to table that and come with it next time, because
we're gonna have to come back.
I think we need to dive into that like in depth next time, because I don't want to just do a quick chat on it, because if we can find that, I think we can talk about it for a while.
Let's revisit that in our intro to episode 6. I think that's smart. Let's mark that down.
Yep, we'll do, because we gotta know. And I'll leave it with this before we introduce the new spinning of the wheel to see what we're watching next, which I'll kind of introduce there. I think another thing we can explore now that we're kind of getting out of the critically acclaimed films or the Oscars or the top 100 of all time, like, this was a movie that clearly had a discrepancy. All of them are. Would you watch it again? Would you recommend it to somebody?
I don't think I'll watch it again, but I would watch it with somebody who's like, okay, like, I'm a Warcraft guy. I'm watching it. I'm gonna watch it again.
I would 1,000% watch it again. Not because of any sort of the plot, but I think if somebody was like, dude, I've actually never seen Warcraft, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it again. Like,
yeah.
It's cool enough to watch twice, for sure.
Big screen, good sound effects, make it better, like a better experience than what I was. I was just watching on the couch on a regular TV. Like, that would up it up for me.
Yeah, make it more cinematic.
Yep. I think so.
I don't think I recommend this to anyone outside of like the gaming community. Right?
Well,
I'm not going to recommend
it for them to watch by themselves.
Well, just to watch it in general, I guess. But like, I'm not gonna go over to Lex and be like, "Hey, yo, you gotta watch this movie." So I would watch it again. I mean, it's just give it another like year or two, and I'll find myself back here. But like, if it's still being streamed on an app or something, I'll definitely click that on. At some point.
You want to develop an app?
You want to develop an app?
Yeah, it's sick. I don't think I can say that enough.
It's sick.
Great start. Like I said, I think this movie was textbook. Both got it right. I got both sides. It made sense to me. Definitely different than anything we've watched. We haven't gotten a whole lot of CGI, like to the extent of a fantasy movie. Wish somebody would educate us on the Warcraft realm. Coach us up a little bit on this. Let us know what we're missing on this. But again, a lot of it, I think we could have extended this out to multiple movies. I can't wait for the second one to come out because I know it can't be far out. Introduction to the new live wheel spin to figure out what the next movie we're going to watch is. I know we've been spinning wheels behind the scenes, but decided to bring it live to you, to the boys. Don't make me pick it. We've got a movie wheel built out here of not all, but a lot of different sources I looked at that had anything 30% plus difference on Rotten Tomatoes between audience and critics.
Any of these that pop out to you guys?
Ants. I love that movie. I loved that movie as a kid.
Super Troopers would be fun. I've already seen it. Sausage Party would be fun. I've already seen it.
Us.
I've seen a lot of these.
Us pops out
I
to
haven't
me.
seen yet.
Us pops out to me for two reasons. One,
which one was that?
Can I finish? Please, can I finish?
Can you tell me what it is?
I was middle of talking in the beginning of my sentence, so I would love to talk to you about it.
No, you're not. So.
Good podcast. Us sticks out for two reasons. One, it's two letters, so it's the biggest word on here. Two, I've seen it like 6 times. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It is a Jordan Peele movie.
It is that one.
It is the Tethered movie. Unbelievable watch. I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know off the top of my head. I did build this list out. I don't remember which ones are higher critic and which ones are higher audience because it's a blend of both. We just watched a higher audience, low critic. Some of these are high critic, low audience. The other ones are vice versa. So I hope we get a blend of the two. If we get 4 high audience, low critics, that could be fun. But I'd like to at least get at least one of the other. But I've seen probably
I think a
67
of these.
clip. Like a 25% clip, I think I've seen at least.
Yeah,
I'm
probably 25. 25, I'm about there.
The few that come out to me, I want Uncut Gems would be awesome to talk with you guys about.
Yep.
Butterfly Effect, I think, would be really fascinating.
Never watched it.
Boondock Saints.
Never seen it.
And
great
Red
movie.
Notice.
Boondock Saints, fun fact, it is.
I am shocked that's on here.
It is the biggest of all of them.
Really?
Largest, it's like 65%. It's the largest.
Here's something fun.
That one and Star Wars: The Last Jedi are the two biggest of all time.
Boondock Saints is one of Lawson Reynolds' favorite movies.
Okay.
I don't know which side it fell on with audience and critics, but it is the largest of any of these. Is Boondock Saints?
Is this King Kong, the one with Jack Black and
OG?
What's his name? He was in The Brutalists. Adrian
Brody.
Yeah. That I'm kind of shocked that's on here. I thought that was a good movie.
Boys,
I don't know.
One spin, or are we doing 2 spins and then the third one is our go?
I think one spin.
Are we gonna do 1 spin a week, or are we gonna plan the month out, or the next 4 here?
I think one a week.
One spin a week.
One a week.
Yeah, one a week.
One a week. I don't think we can do 3 because whatever gets picked gets removed and is off the wheel for next week.
Yeah.
I've seen. Quick last thought. Venom, haven't seen. Would love to watch it. King Kong, loved that movie. Sausage Party, loved that movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, Super Troopers, loved. Us, one of my favorites. Captain Marvel, haven't seen. Super Mario, awesome. Grown Ups, great. A lot of, I think that's multiple. Spy Kids, haven't seen it in forever. I don't even remember if it was good or not. Probably loved it when
It's
I was
good.
younger. And Uncut Gems, loved it. So I've seen about
There's
7
one
or
on
8.
here I don't want. Captain Marvel. Don't want it.
I
don't
haven't
want
seen
it.
it.
That
Any
on
of the
here.
any movie I
Don't
haven't
want it.
seen, I'm always
Oh,
in
wow.
for. I'm always in
Don't
for.
want it. Haven't seen it.
Uh,
Don't want it.
I have seen Red Notice. I hope we don't get that.
DJ, spin that shit.
Spin that shit. And next week,
Come on.
it's gonna be Captain Marvel, huh? Imagine. Gross.
Oh,
Oh
sick!
my god.
Oh.
Go, 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 go.
Ooh.
Playing with
Oh,
Does it have another
wow.
one? Does it have another one? Hold on.
Wait.
Drag me
Oh
down,
my
baby.
god! Drag me.
None of
This
us
is-
talked about it.
No, I actually hadn't seen it, but when I was going through earlier today and building it out, I saw one of the snapshots on Google of what the movie was, and it
Let's
was
see
like
it. Let's
it's
see it so
that
we're on the same
scene.
page.
It's that scene where she's like spitting in that chick's face. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe you don't know, but
It's like a meme or something? Like it's used
no,
for
it's like in the movie. It's a scene. I can't share it. I'm struggling here.
Okay.
But it's a scene where the demon or whatever it is like just puking in that girl's face, right? Yeah. 90. So this one hit the actual borderline of not making the cut. Exactly 30%. It had to be 30% or above. And this one finds its way in the mix and gets to be picked first. First, I think, horror we've ever watched on the pod. That was the picture from the Rotten Tomatoes screen at the top where that old lady, I maybe have watched this. I don't know. I watch every horror thriller movie ever.
This is gonna be sick. I'm jacked.
Oh, dude. I don't even know what to expect. It can't be good. I don't know. God, Critter, can you pull that back up and show us if it was audience or critic that scored higher? Because I don't remember.
I have a feeling it's gonna be mostly audience that score higher.
No,
No.
that's the critics. The
No.
audience. 92% from
Okay.
critics.
But 62 isn't bad.
No, but that's a
I mean,
gap.
that's not terrible, but that is a big gap.
I thought 30 was a good cutoff of like 30% or more is like that's a big
Wow.
that's a gap.
I'm
First
jacked,
horror
dude.
film.
And it's only PG-13. That kind of throws me off a little bit
Drag
too.
Me to Hell is PG-13, huh?
Okay.
This is another one because I want to point out the is that guy from
The
Dodgeball?
Justin Lang?
Is that the
Yeah.
Dodgeball guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
God, he's a legend. This is going to be a good one. I don't know. I think I maybe have seen it. I think the girl that plays that Lorna Raver, I think she's like a big scary movie chick too.
Hey,
but
where are we watching this on, boys? What is it? What do we got for streaming?
Drag Me to Hell, you can find it on Netflix.
Netflix. Gotcha.
It looks like it's currently on Netflix. That is the first thing that popped up for me. Pretty much, actually, it's not on Netflix. You might be watching this on YouTube. They had it on Netflix at one point. YouTube TV or Sling TV, Hulu Premium, and then everywhere else, you're going to have to rent it at. Prime Video, you can rent it. You can rent it on Apple TV, Google Play, etc. But you're
Mic
not.
check, by the way. I think you're muted.
You're not going to
I
be able
am
to find.
muted. I was typing, so
Yeah.
kids learning.
You're not going to be able to find this one on Netflix, but it was there at some point. I promise you that.
All right, I got YouTube TV. What all do you guys have, by the way? I have YouTube Premium. I have
Dude, they're
YouTube
kicking
TV.
everybody off. All the password sharing, dunzo.
on Netflix.
All of them. Hulu, Disney, Netflix. They're
don't
kicking all
blame
the
them.
password sharers off.
I don't blame them, but it's kind of.
I do. That's BS.
Yeah, it's all
You
BS.
should,
There's
you,
like
should, you
12.
should have a certain amount of accounts, and I think that would be fair.
You know what? They should just take all the streaming services, bundle them into one service, and then I just pay an increased rate for a single service to have everything.
And then
And
we
then
go back to
they
it
can
again.
start. Yeah, exactly. It's a full circle. That's why it's stupid.
That'd be crazy. It's almost like if somebody could invent like cable TV, where you had all
Yeah.
the channels, and then you could just choose one.
Or they could put it on
Um,
X. The
The
everything.
everything,
Yeah,
app.
the everything. Yeah.
everything happens on X.
Everything happens on X.
But that's what they're doing now. It's like Lexi just got Disney in the Hulu package, where you access Hulu through the Disney app.
right.
Like, it's so convoluted. I'm gonna start
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
pirating
whoa.
stuff again.
Don't be throwing those big words out here.
Yeah, we don't
I
do
just
very
went-
well
we
with
just
big
went
words
through-
on here.
We just went through Warcraft.
Yeah, big words are not our friend, especially yours.
Memorable.
Yeah.
Memorable.
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 Good stuff, boys.
Awesome pod. Great theme. Shout out me yet again. Critter, loved having you. Excited to see how we continue to progress
thank
here.
you, sir.
Hopefully the quality gets a little better. I know we got 2 new microphones on here. We got a new platform that we're streaming on.
We got a 480p, 480 pixels of trav on
All
the
of
screen
it.
here.
All of it. It's only up from here. So really appreciate all the early support. I know we're only on episode 5. Surprise Oscar movies should be coming to you shortly as well. But I think this theme is going to be very fun to play along with. So that is Warcraft. Go watch it. You can find it on Peacock. Good, not great watch. I don't know. Depends on who you are.
Have fun with it.
Next week,
Yeah.
you saw it live. It'll be Drag Me to Hell. It is I believe, late 2000, close to 2010. I think 2007, 2008. 2009 is actually correct. I'm an idiot. Horror mystery thriller. First horror movie that we've watched. It was a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes critics, 62% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. So flipping the script here, the audience loved Warcraft, critics didn't. When we get to Drag Me to Hell next week, the critics felt good about it. 92% is a pretty damn good score. 62% isn't bad, but it's 30% less. So interested to see how the boys take it as we flip the numbers to the man versus the people. The people found this one to not be too good. So appreciate you guys listening. Catch us next week. Always dropping on Thursdays. And again, we're going to continue to get out into the theaters. Lilo and Stitch, as mentioned, May 23rd. If you're as old as us, Lilo and Stitch was part of your childhood. You can't get around it. Go see Lilo and Stitch, only in theaters, May 23rd. I believe it's a Thursday. Could be making that up. Just guess. Don't care. Memorial Day weekend. What do you got to do? Wherever you live. Weather might be good, might not be. Find a movie theater near you and go watch Lilo and Stitch or anything else that might be on the big screen. And when you get out there, or maybe you had a great day, you had a pool day, you had a lake day, I don't know, you got a 3-day weekend, you got a free Saturday, enjoy it, right? But when you get home and you maybe turn on Netflix or Hulu, or maybe you throw the cock on and you're watching some Warcraft, I don't know, would love for you to tell us what you thought about it, but when you grab that popcorn over Redenbacher out of your cabinet or you're sitting in your reclining chair at the movie theater and you get that popcorn popping, or maybe you get that extra large bucket and you're popping the button. Maybe you saw my story. Popping the button. Butter coming. You shake it. You bake it. Right? Pop the popcorn. Kick your feet back. Don't forget your extra butter.
Extra butter on the corn for me. Extra butter. I hope they don't charge a fee. But it won't matter anyway. I got a good movie to play. I'm gonna ask my friends to stay extra butter for me.